You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2184 2184 Chapter 479 Invincible Fall, Traitors Appear 1. Dozens of Sun and Moon Realm warriors fell in an instant. At this moment of the great battle, the hearts of all races were palpitating, and the hearts of all directions were palpitating. Was there anything else? God, demon, immortal, and dragon. The invincible of the four races appeared, but they were all stopped by the human race. It was terrifying, terrifying, terrifying. Of the 17 quasi-invincible, 8 had died. Everyone was dumbfounded. The dragon race was dead, the god race was dead, and the dark race was dead. The heaven-hunting pavilion had lost 2 more. The remaining 9 quasi-invincible races were all terrified. The demon quasi-invincible shouted, "We can't split up. Join hands. If they split up again, they would all die." At this time, they didn't have any advantage at all. Lan Tian, Yuan Shi, Xia Xiaoxi, Lu Wenyan, and Niu Bendao were just the 5 of them. They didn't need more. 5 against 9, they might not lose. Yuan Shi was too strong, and Lan Tian was too strong. Based on strength, Yuan Shi was the first, and Lan Tian was slightly stronger than Xia Xiar. Lord Xia Ho and Niu Bendao were on par, while Lu Wenyan's 5th-generation divine text was slightly weaker. The 5 of them equalized the strength of these 9 quasi-invincible experts. As for the others, at this moment, more than 30 sun and moon experts of the heaven-hunting pavilion had died. Since the outbreak of the war, more than 20 of the 10,000 races invincible experts had died. In total, they had lost close to 60 sun and moon experts. There were more than 40 sun-moon realm warriors of the Xia, Qin, and Zhu families. After that, there were close to 20 sun-moon realm warriors from the manners of the human realm. There were more than 60 Sun-Moon Realm warriors of the human realm who participated in the war, and more than 10 Sun-Moon Realm warriors had died. Adding the 2 sides together, 70 to 80 Sun-Moon Realm warriors had died. This was probably the most Sun-Moon Realm warriors who had died in the past hundreds of years. At this moment, there were more than 90 Sun-Moon Realm warriors of the 10,000 tribes and more than 40 human realm warriors. However, there were still close to 20 Sun-Moon Realm warriors who did not participate in the war. There were more than 150 Sun-Moon Realm experts on the scene. In the past few days, more than 100 Sun-Moon Realm experts had fallen, including those killed by Su Yu. The result of the battle of nearly 300 Sun-Moon Realm experts was that more than 20 humans from the various tribes had died, and more than 80 people from the 10,000 tribes had died. Su Yu and the minister of the Huang department were the most ruthless and evil. Actually, the difference in losses between the 2 sides wasn't too big. However, Su Yu and the minister of the Huang tribe had killed nearly 60 suns and moons. The 2 of them were each more ruthless than the other. If it weren't for the 2 of them, the difference in battle strength would still be very big. At this point, the myriad races felt a chill in their hearts and didn't want to fight anymore. Even though the ruins had completely appeared and the existence of the ruins could be seen, many people felt a chill in their hearts. At this moment, someone looked around and sighed, "Humans are indeed terrifying. It's not unreasonable for the 10,000 races to exterminate humans." Modwa stood out. He hadn't made a move all this while, but at this moment, he said respectfully, "Demon King Lad, please descend and kill the powerful enemy. Don't hide anymore." The Demon King who had come earlier wasn't Demon King Lad. Modwa knew that Demon King Lad had come. Of course, the other party only had a future body and this lifetime body. If he died again, he would really die. It was only right that Demon King Lad hid. However, at this point, it was better to make a move. To prevent giving the human race another chance to turn the tables. The human race had hidden too deeply. Be it Chu Tiandao, the black armor, or the minister of the Yellow Tribe, none of them were in everyone's calculations beforehand. The original cult master's side had attracted a lot of attention. With the appearance of the 4 invincible races, Demon King Lad's appearance would be able to finish off the human race as soon as possible. Madonna looked at the others. There should be more experts from each race sneaking in. Do we have to wait for the human race to kill the experts from each race again and again? At this moment, we should kill the human experts with lightning speed. From the perspective of the demon race, he had to consider the demon race. He couldn't wait for the human race to explode. At this moment, almost everything that should have come out had come out. The human race wanted to lure the traitors, and the 10,000 races also wanted to capture all the hidden experts of the human race. At this moment, it was almost time. Even the 2 hidden experts of the Heaven Hunting Pavilion had been dug out. The void trembled and Demon King Lad appeared. He was a little weak, but his aura was still extremely powerful, covering all directions. He looked around and said calmly, "Does the human race still have eternal battle strength?" The void trembled and an expert covered in death aura said indifferently, "Probably not anymore." It wasn't death aura, but dark aura. He and Demon King Lad were in the same boat. This was the Nether King of the Nether race who was almost killed by 36 stone sculptures last time. Lad still had a future body, but this guy was even more miserable. He only had a past body left. These 2 appeared. Both of them were in the same boat, but their combat power was still strong. Lad's future body had invincible combat power, and this Nether King was similar. His past body was close to true invincible combat power even before he became invincible. 2 powerhouses appeared at once. The human race wanted to lure out the traitor. Sorry, the 10,000 races would not agree. It was in their interests for the human race's traitor to not appear. They were protecting that person. Although they might not know him, it didn't matter. We were protecting him. Let him become a nail in the human race. The existence of a traitor was the biggest nail. The 2 unrivaled experts were risking their lives. It was truly dangerous. They only had 1 life left. However, they also wanted to forge the past, future, and present. They needed a large amount of resources, a large amount of treasures, and the sun-moon mystic yellow liquid. Compared to the heavenly battlefield, where the human realm was unrivaled, the Great Xia Manor was still relatively safer. Many strong people were lured out. What else? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2185. 2185 Chapter 479 Invincible Fall, Traitors Come Out Too. Their pressure shook the sky as they looked around. The other experts of the 10,000 races were also trembling in fear. Were there any more? They also wanted to see if there were any more powerful existences in the human race. No more, right? They had all come out, right? And right at this moment, someone stood out, attracting the attention of the 2 experts in the air. They thought that it was a human expert, but when they looked, it wasn't. It was Dao Cheng. Dao Cheng bowed and said respectfully, "May the 2 of you be invincible and kill Xianjiu." Xianjiu might be Su Yu, the main culprit who harmed all races. Regardless of whether it's him or not, may the 2 of you kill the wrong person before letting him go. As soon as he said this, his gaze instantly focused on Su Yu. Right. Regardless of whether it was him or not, the Heaven Hunting Pavilion was too dangerous. A group of humans had mixed in, but Xianjiu didn't die. Even a fool would know that there were some problems. This Xianjiu should also be a human. If he was not Su Yu, then he should be another human expert. Kill. Dao Cheng looked at Su Yu and said calmly, "It's already come to this. Su Yu, you should take off your mask. Even if you die, you will know who died. Or rather, which other expert of your human race is hiding in the dark and waiting." Dao Qing said indifferently, your human race is fishing for traitors. You don't know that the 10,000 races are also waiting for those restless factors hidden by your human race. Do you really think that your human race has won? Did the 10,000 races suffer a loss? It was still all right. Many quasi-invincible races had died, a total of 8 of them. However, 2 of the heaven-hunting pavilion had died, and 6 of the other races had died. It seemed that there were quite a number of them. However, the few powerful races had only used the death of a few quasi-invincible races as the price to pull out the nails of the human race in the myriad realms. They had pulled out many people. As long as they killed the humans present, it would be a huge profit. A group of people with extremely monstrous talent. If they were killed, it would be worth it even if a few of the undefeatable beings from the myriad clans died. Su Yu said indifferently, Dao Cheng, you have a grudge with Su Yu, but it's not me. Why are you staring at me? Dao Cheng did not say anything. Aren't you Su Yu? Regardless of whether it was true or not, he wanted to try and let the 2 undefeatable beings kill him. Su Yu cursed in his heart and sighed. He knew that regardless of whether it was true or not, he was going to be unlucky. Even if he used all his combat power, he would not be able to fight against the 2 undefeatable beings, even if it was just one of the 3 incarnations. Lao Wan, he's here to save us. In the air, the 2 unrivaled experts hated Su Yu to the extreme. At this moment, they couldn't be bothered to investigate and identify him. There was no need. Just kill him. Su Yu was the main culprit that had harmed them. Demon King Lad's expression was ice-cold as he slapped down with his palm. On the other side, Lord Xia Ho and the others' expressions changed. Lord Xia Ho roared and slashed down with his saber, causing the unrivaled expert to retreat. He roared, how dare you! This time, there were 6 invincible humans. It was true. Lord Xiaoho didn't expect this either. Damned Myriad Heaven Saint. Bastard Myriad Heaven Saint. What nonsense. He knew that the tombstone was important, yet he still let Su Yu stuff it in. F***CKU, Myriad Heaven Saint, this bastard, he's messing around. Su Yu's aura instantly became stronger. His young aperture was half opened, and a drop of 6th-level sun and moon essence blood was instantly devoured by him. He didn't want to fight, but he had to run. Sigh. A sigh resounded through the world. In the void, the 2 invincible figures weren't too surprised. Demon King Lad said coldly, you're finally out. Sigh. A sigh sounded. In the blink of an eye, the void fluctuated, and a person walked out with his hands behind his back. 10,000 heavenly saints. 10,000 heavenly saints sighed softly, my goal isn't you guys. Why did you come? The 10,000 heavenly saints said bitterly, you too, only the past and the future remain. Do you really have to die here? He took a step forward, as if he had just stepped out of the heart cultivation pavilion. Demon King Lad's expression was solemn. 10,000 heavenly saints, we knew that you were strong, but we didn't expect you to be this strong. You've finally come out. The Xia family's reliance is you, right? The 10,000 heavenly saints chuckled. Lad, you have wisdom, so why do you have to come and throw your life away? Below, the various races were all stupefied. As expected. F***CK. As expected, these people were all old cowards, lunatics, and 10,000 heavenly saints. They were said to be the peak of the mountain and sea realm, the 10,000 heavenly saints. Lad said coldly, when Yibadian died, his friend lost his future body. Whether it was the primordial or the southern borderless, he didn't lose his third life body. At the very least, we can tell that he didn't rebuild it later. Since that's the case, there must be another person, as expected, it's you, Myriad Sage. Myriad Sage, you're too monstrous. It's hard for us to imagine that it was you back then. Myriad Sage said bitterly, it was me. Since you know it was me, aren't the two of you afraid of death? Yes. Demon King Lad said calmly, I'm very afraid, but, your third-generation body has fallen. 10,000 heavenly saints, how much of the elegance of the past do you have now? Do you really think that we weren't prepared this time? We were prepared to kill you. We prepared a lot. The only thing we didn't expect was that the human race had hidden so many people. He smiled and said, 10,000 heavenly saints, do you believe it? This time, the 6 of us eternal beings are all here for you. When these words were said, everyone was shocked. Those geniuses were also shocked. What did he mean? Demon King Lad smiled and said, we don't know if it's you, but this time, we are all here for the person beside Yi Batian. Now, it looks like it's really you. You are the leader this time. You really can endure it. At this moment, voices came from the other 3 illusory spaces. Myriad Sage. It's actually you. This is beyond our expectations. We thought about you, but we didn't dare to confirm it. When the primordial was exposed, we thought it was him. However, his 3 incarnations are still here. Myriad Sage, you were careless. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2186. 2186 Chapter 479 Invincible's Fall, Traitor's Appearance 3. Your scheme with Blue Sky has too many loopholes. Myriad Heaven Saint said with a bitter smile, no, I didn't let Blue Sky do it blindly. He's a madman. He insisted on doing this. He said that it was to attract attention, but in reality, it was to trap me. This idiot, he always feels that he's right. On the other side, several hundred Blue Skies had beaten a quasi-invincible expert to the point that he couldn't even raise his head. Smiling like a flower, he said, you bad man, how can you say such things about me? I'm doing this for your own good, for your own safety. 10,000 heavenly saints, you actually lied to me. You said that you were the sun and moons. 10,000 heavenly saints smiled and said, I'm the sun and moon, what's wrong with that? He smiled and looked at the 2 invincible experts. The 2 of you insist on forcing me to come out. Could it be that the 2 of you are counting on this damaged 3-generation body to fight me? He smiled and took a step forward. A divine text appeared, and with a rumbling sound, it suppressed the surrounding area. Freeze. The massive divine text instantly froze the surrounding area. You're right. Whether it's eldest senior brother or master. They're not in my plan. I'm only prepared to kill that traitor with my own strength. Unfortunately, you insist on coming here to die. The 10,000 heavenly saints was incomparably powerful. He strolled leisurely and took a step forward. Divine runes appeared and with a rumble, suppressed all directions. Fight. Kill. Anger. Civilization. Divine runes appeared one after another. The 10,000 heavenly saints was only at the 9th level of the Sun-Moon realm, but he was terrifyingly powerful. In the blink of an eye, he was close to the 2 unrivaled existences. The void was torn apart and waves of pressure covered all directions. He was fighting 2 people by himself. His movements were so fast that no one could see clearly, but he was beating the 2 unrivaled 3 incarnations back continuously. He was the true number 1 person. He suppressed the 2 unrivaled experts, but the mystic armor was suppressed by the 2 unrivaled experts. Each of his divine runes was not weaker than Yi Batian's divine runes. On the other side, Lu Wenyan was dumbfounded. This was still the 10,000 heavenly saints. How strong was my divine inscriptions? Holy *T. So strong. Each and every one of you are like turtles. If you don't come out and watch us suffer, are you still human? Lu Wenyan couldn't help but shout, Manor Head Wan, this. You hit it too deeply. Myriad Sage didn't have the time to pay attention to him. The divine inscriptions instantly fused together, and his strength increased by 30%. With a punch, the void shattered. With a wave of his hand, under everyone's shocked gazes, the great Xia's prefectural city seemed to appear before their eyes. At this moment, 10,000 heavenly saints suddenly reached out his hand towards the heart cultivation pavilion and pulled it out. It was only at this moment that everyone was shocked to discover that the heart cultivation pavilion was a sword. At this moment, the great Xia's Institute of Civilization seemed to be under their feet. Wan Tiansheng was slightly dazed. He seemed to have seen this scene before. As for Su Yu, he was also slightly dazed. I seem to have seen this scene before. He didn't pay much attention to it before because what he saw didn't happen. He saw Hong Tan and the others fighting with their lives on the line. He saw that he was also slaughtering in all directions. It happened in the Civilization Academy. However, the Civilization Academy was no longer worthy of him slaughtering. Until this moment, this illusory yet real civilized university was right beneath his feet. Su Yu was stunned. Wan Tiansheng was also slightly dazed. Was the scene that I saw about to happen? He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So that's how it was. I told you that the great battle was near the civilized university, but it turns out, it was the moment when I drew my sword. The heart cultivation pavilion was a sword. The 10,000 heavenly saints pulled out this sword. With a hum, the sword was slashed out. On the other side, the two unrivaled experts also displayed their respective abilities. Time flowed backward, and two long rivers of time appeared, surrounding the 10,000 heavenly saints. The 10,000 heavenly saints slashed out, and the river of time trembled. Demon King Lad roared, and his fists shook in all directions. Rumble. The void was blasted apart, and time was blasted apart. At this moment, Su Yu was slightly distracted. In the next moment, he smiled. The mask automatically fell off. A familiar face appeared in front of everyone. Su Yu couldn't help but laugh. I want to say that I've seen this scene before. Do you believe me? No one said anything. Su Yu. Su Yu smiled and said, an outstanding person really can't be hidden. The experts are all playing. Everyone, come and play. How about I play with everyone? He took a step forward and easily slashed out toward Dao Cheng. Dao Cheng sighed and said, it really is you, Su Yu. You really can hide. In the next moment, Dao Cheng's aura was incredibly powerful. A shadow covered his entire body, causing his blood to boil and his aura to change. At the third level of the mountain and sea realm, he instantly entered the sun and moon. After entering the sun and moon, he continued to rise. The surrounding geniuses all exploded with chi and blood, and several of them had illusory figures covering their bodies. Each and every one of them had powerful auras that were no weaker than any of the sun and moon. Su Yu smiled and said, that's right. They're all geniuses, so how could they not have some trump cards? As expected, all of the geniuses of the various clans have been possessed by experts. At this point, the surrounding human geniuses and the geniuses of the smaller clans were all dumbfounded. F***ck. This was a true battle of geniuses. Who were they? Compared to these people, the aura of the sun and moon surrounded them. Even though they looked like mountains and seas, their auras were terrifyingly powerful. Was this mountain and sea Ling Yun? F***cku. This was a group of sun and moon. And not just any ordinary sun and moon. Su Yu laughed and said, I've tolerated all of you for a long time. Even when Mansion Master Wan didn't come, I didn't dare to beat all of you to death. I was afraid that you were too weak and not enough for me to beat. That traitor, look at how strong your grandfather is. Look at me, Su Yu, the results of a year of cultivation. Boom. All of his young apertures were opened. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2187. 2187 Chapter 479 Invincible Fall, Traitor Out, LRB Subscribe, 4. Reversal of the Aura of Death. At this moment, Su Yu's young aperture was completely opened. I want to show you just how strong I am. On the other side, Wan Tianxing said with a headache, messing around. Ling Yun vs. Shanghai, is this the battle? Damn it. It made me think that I was mistaken. So it really is Ling Yun vs. Shanghai. I'm impressed. Is this considered Ling Yun battling the mountains and seas? Don't draw that guy out now. You're giving me a headache. Wan Tianxing laughed bitterly. Can't you see that my opponent has two invincible opponents? Su Yu was stunned. What did he mean? You can't stop him. Very soon, Su Yu smiled and said, Mansion Master, if he really comes out, at least his identity will be exposed. Whatever, even if we die in battle, that son of AB*TCH will still be exposed this time. If you have the guts, then don't come out. Wan Tianxing could not help but laugh. He slashed out with his sword, sweeping across the surroundings. He said softly, those in the Search Realm and the War God Hall, are you still unwilling to lend a hand? At this moment, there were still more than 20 suns and moons waiting at the edge. Meanwhile, the other human suns and moons were almost fighting one against two. The radiance of the suns and moons continued to fall. On the other side, Zhang Qi said calmly, there are too many people from the Divine Literature Department hiding too much. You might still have a backup plan. At this point, you can just save yourselves. Wan Tianxing sighed. Do you think there is still a backup plan? I don't know. Zhang Qi took a few steps back and said again, Mansion Master Wan, even if we join, it won't change anything. Wan Tianxing didn't say anything else. Because a great battle had broken out below. Boom! With a swing of his hammer, Su Yu forced Dao Qing to take a few steps back. The aura of death overflowed. Su Yu's expression turned cold. His young aperture had been completely opened. His aura was getting stronger and stronger. Having devoured the essence blood of a 6th-level Sun-Moon Realm cultivator, he felt that his strength had long surpassed that of a 6th-level Sun-Moon Realm cultivator. Once again, a drop of blood was devoured by him. His body was slightly cracked, and blood flowed profusely. He let out a muffled groan. This was the essence blood of a 8th-level Sun-Moon Realm cultivator. With just a raise of his hand, his aura was incomparably powerful, a feeling that was 10 times stronger than before. Kill! Boom! Dao Qing was hammered by him until he spat out blood. Su Yu had completely turned into the state of a dead spirit, mixed with a dense aura of death. Dao Qing kept fighting back. Soon, Zhan Wushuang, Mingyu, and Xian Wuji joined in. Only Modwa Na had not joined in the battle yet. He looked at Su Yu, sighed, and said softly, you are stronger than I thought. Innate blood essence. Is it innate blood essence? No idea. However, at this moment, Su Yu had really erupted with the battle strength and aura of an 8th-level Sun-Moon Realm. The group of geniuses all had extremely powerful auras. Rumble. Under the battle, some of the battle rings were covered. In the blink of an eye, several sun-moons of the 10,000 races were destroyed by Su Yu. On the human side, a few sun-moons were also torn apart by Zhan Wushuang and the others. Su Yu did not care, nor did he have the time to care. His young aperture was still absorbing the death qi. The powerful death qi swept over one wave after another. The entire battle ring forced the others to continuously retreat. The experts from all directions were dumbfounded. Were these geniuses still human? Even if they had the essence blood of experts or other things possessing them, their battle experience, killing intent, and physical endurance were all beyond imagination. Die! Su Yu roared as he punched out, causing Dao Cheng's physical body to crack. Behind him, Xian Wuji used a divine symbol to suppress him. With a boom, Su Yu's sea of consciousness trembled. In the next moment, the little hairy ball appeared and swallowed the divine symbol in one gulp before returning to Su Yu's sea of consciousness. Within the sea of consciousness, the little hairy ball was rolling violently. The divine symbol was too powerful. Xian Wuji was only at the 8th level of the mountain and sea realm, but his divine symbol was the sun and moon divine symbol. At this moment, even if the little hairy ball swallowed it in one gulp, it wouldn't be able to withstand it. Su Yu, on the other hand, threw a backhand punch that shattered Xian Wuji's body. In the small battle, Su Yu single-handedly fought against 7 or 8 geniuses. The aura of death swept out in all directions, and some of the experts who were swept in fell back. In the blink of an eye, the aura of death covered their entire bodies. Some of the experts were almost killed by the aura of death. How many people could withstand the aura of death at the 8th level of the sun and moon realm? Mo Lin. With a low roar, Su Yu pretended to devour a drop of demon blood essence. In an instant, the demonic aura boiled, and his strength increased by 30%. As soon as Mo Lin arrived, Su Yu punched through the air. With a puff, the first genius on the heaven roll was heavily injured by him. Ming Yu of the Netherworld race was pierced through by his punch. The aura of death spread and overlapped with the aura of death, causing an intense reaction. At this moment, these geniuses were all terrifyingly powerful. With Su Yu's young aperture fully opened, he devoured the essence blood of the 8th level of the sun and moon. The speed of devouring the death chi was also shockingly fast. At this moment, on the battlefield of the heavens, in the ancient city of Xinghong, the death chi of Xingyue was boiling. She was furious. Come on, suck it. How much do you want to suck? You suck, you can suck the death chi out of me. I'll consider you amazing. Su Yu, this madman, what on earth is he doing? How much more does he want to absorb? This absorption speed is comparable to a 9th level sun-moon realm expert absorbing her death aura with all his might. Damn it, I've transformed into a Lingyun genius, not a 9th level sun-moon realm expert. And tens of millions of li away from the great Xia mansion. That figure also stood up. His face was solemn. I've really underestimated all of you. Muttering to himself, the figure sighed. I've underestimated them. Terrifying. He was very fortunate, truly fortunate. He had always thought that he had seen through everything, but reality proved that if not for the 6 unrivaled experts, he would have been dead for sure. A 10,000 heavenly saint might have been able to fight him to the end. Furthermore, there was still the mystic armor and the others. If not for the 6 invincible ones, he might really be defeated. Just as he was thinking about this, his gaze changed slightly. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2188. 2188 Chapter 479, Invincible Fall, Traitors Appear 5. Nanyuan. Wan Tiansheng laughed in his heart. He could really endure it. If he didn't appear, he wouldn't have much of a chance. At this moment, a total of 24 divine inscriptions appeared. Each one was terrifyingly powerful. The 24 divine inscriptions instantly merged into one. Everything happened too quickly. The Heart Cultivation Pavilion sword in his hand instantly became incomparably powerful. Ling Yun was battling mountains and seas, and he had a hand behind his back. This was what he had seen. You will still make a move. My lifespan is not wasted. You can't wait anymore. You can't hold it in any longer. I am the only one in 10,000 heavens. A soft shout with a shaking sound reverberated in all directions. The expressions of Demon King Lad and Yama King changed. Both of them tore apart the river of time. However, it wasn't that simple. A river suddenly appeared beside the 10,000 heavenly saints. It was even stronger than theirs. The river covered them. Just as the two of them entered the river of time, time and space suddenly shattered. Everything around the three of them disappeared, leaving only darkness. Cut. The 10,000 heavenly saints slashed down. Demon King Lad's expression changed drastically. Without saying anything, he tore through time and space again and entered the void. Yama wanted to leave too, but he only went over. At this moment, he roared, "Please save me, Yama Emperor." The void trembled as if a half-emperor was about to walk out of the river of time. However, this was the human realm. It was not the heavenly battlefield. "I told you to leave, but you didn't." The 10,000 heavenly saints said calmly, "Then don't leave." "You forced me." Pluto roared. Suddenly, a drop of water appeared. It was somewhat turbid. The water of the underworld river, the essence of the underworld river, the carrier, and the source of the underworld river. "Die!" The Nether King roared. With a loud boom, the void exploded, and the entire void turned into nothingness. At this moment, it pierced through the world wall. It even entered the endless void. In the distance, experts like the great Ming King could be seen facing off against some unrivaled experts. This time, the unrivaled experts from the human world didn't stop there. Outside the world domain, there were more than 10 unrivaled experts facing off against 8 unrivaled experts from the human race. These experts also saw it. They saw the underworld river explode. They saw the sword, the unparalleled sword, the 10,000 heavenly saints, the shattering of their bodies, and the slash of the 10,000 heavenly saints. Boom! A loud sound shook the heavens. In the void, blood-red clouds gathered. In an instant, they covered tens of thousands of miles. The water of the underworld river stopped flowing. The nether world. A river that had existed since ancient times was instantly broken. The endless water of the nether river covered the entire area, devouring the nether world. At the peak of the nether world, an ancient expert sighed and reached out to grab the nether river. "The nether river king has fallen." He sighed. "I told you not to act rashly during this dangerous trip, but you still went and died in the human realm." This ancient existence opened the river of time and looked at the human realm in the distance. A moment later, he saw that sword. The sword that cut the invincible. He saw the sword shatter, and he saw the underworld river king die. He was cut into pieces by that sword. The underworld was also in turmoil, and the scale was not large. However, those who knew that an invincible had died. An invincible king who had attained Tao in the underworld. If an invincible king who had attained Tao in the underworld died, everyone could still feel it. An invincible king who had attained Tao in the underworld had died. The underworld river king, the underworld river was cut off. In the heavenly battlefield. At this moment, countless experts were also trembling. In the void, an incomparably dazzling blood sun had fallen. It had crashed into the territory of the human realm, crashing into the human realm. There was an invincible expert who died in the human realm. Not long after, in the sky above the netherworld, an illusory figure disappeared. Dust returned to dust, and earth returned to earth. An underworld king had fallen. The surroundings were silent. In just a few short months, 2 invincible experts had died. Dragon Silkworm King, Underworld River King. Their deaths were all related to the human race. Someone in the human realm had killed an invincible expert. And he had killed an invincible expert of the netherworld race. This race was also an ancient race, but they had actually been killed by someone. Nanyuan. Blood-red clouds covered the sky and earth. Even Suyu couldn't help but tremble at this moment. He flew back a few steps and looked at the sky. Everyone had a tacit understanding, and they all fell back in shock. Was Invincible dead? Even if he was only one of the 3 reincarnators, he shouldn't have been killed so easily. Moreover, it was 2 against 1. In the void, the 10,000 heavenly saints seemed to be far away from them. He coughed and a drop of blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. He smiled and his body was a little damaged. He muttered, "I can also kill an invincible." Although this invincible was a little weak, it was still invincible. He killed the other party. 51 years ago, he didn't have the time to kill the invincible of the Heavenly Abyss tribe. 51 years later, he killed an invincible of the Dark Clan. Of course, he had to thank Su Yu for making this invincible useless. No, 2 of them. Lad was also useless. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to kill the Nether River King so easily. That kid did a good thing. 10,000 heavenly saints. At this moment, the invincible in other places also looked over, their eyes full of shock and bafflement. 10,000 heavenly saints, killed invincible. He was at the 9th level of the Sun-Moon realm, not quasi-invincible. 1 Tianxing didn't have 3 incarnations. Zhu Tiandao couldn't help but whine, if King knew it. He knew that he wasn't as cunning as you guys. F*ck. 1 Tianxing, this old brat, could really kill invincible cultivators. Even if he was only crippled, he only killed 3 incarnations. 1 Tianxing coughed up blood and laughed. At this moment, Zhu Tiandao's expression suddenly changed, "Be careful." At this moment, 1 Tianxing laughed again. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2189. 2189 Chapter 479 Invincible Fall, Trader Out, LRB Subscribe, 6. He didn't look back. But he knew that a hand had appeared behind him. He had seen this scene. You still couldn't hold it in. Watch me kill invincible, watch me get seriously injured, you couldn't hold it in. In front, Demon King Lad appeared, with fear and boundless killing intent, and threw a punch at the 10,000 heavenly saints. You can go and die. You have also profited by sacrificing your invincibility, just like Yi Badian back then. The pressure from the hand behind him was much stronger than that of the Nether River King from before. That wasn't the past body, it was definitely the future body. This time, the traitor of the human race couldn't hold back any longer. He had to kill the 10,000 heavenly saints. He had to. The 10,000 heavenly saints had to die. Today, all the multi-divine literature department students had to die. He was afraid. He had thought that Yi Badian was everything, but it turned out that he wasn't. Yi Badian can only represent Yi Badian. He doesn't speak for everyone. The invincible Southern Borderless, the invincible Yun Chen, the invincible Lu Wenyan, the genius Su Yu, the stone-sculpted Su Yu, the lord of the ancient city Su Yu, Chen Yong, who stepped into the sun and moon a year ago, and Hong Tan, who mastered the splitting method, one after another into the sun and moon Xia Yinchi several people. These people, they're gonna die. This scene, it's horrible. Terrible he did not dare to think, after a few years, this line, really out of a few invincible, even just invincible body, he can bear it? Can we really keep hiding who he is? There's no such thing as invincibility. That's okay. When his line, even kill invincible people appear, he invincible, really more important than multi-department of literature. At this moment, he knew that he couldn't do it. There would no longer be an invincible human who would defend him. He was invincible, so he couldn't die. No one would say that because, the multiple divine languages faculty was more worthy of everyone's attention. Too powerful. Too terrifying. He attacked, tearing apart the void. After the 10,000 heavenly saints had killed an invincible person, and after the 10,000 heavenly saints were heavily injured, he attacked. He slapped Wan Tianqing's head. He came from behind. This was what Wan Tianqing saw back then. He saw a hand. And Su Yu and the others also saw a hand. Su Yu frowned slightly. He came out. He finally came out. But, he didn't see any patterns. Su Yu frowned slightly. There were no patterns. It wasn't what he had guessed. In that case, what he saw in Sect Master Tianyi's memory might be someone else, not that human traitor. As he frowned, he was also worried. Wan Tianqing seemed to be injured. At this moment, this person suddenly launched a sneak attack. Could Wan Tianqing block it? A pincer attack from the front and back. It was not an easy thing to kill an invincible one. Wan Tianqing's physical body was cracked. Wan Tianqing smiled. He did not care about Demon King Lad. He turned around and threw a punch. Boom! Mountain Suppression Fist. Mountain Suppression Fist was a secret technique of the Divine Literature Department. Of course, Su Yu did not know it. He was just a dabbler. On the other side, Zhu Tiandao didn't care. He knew this and many people knew it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given up halfway through the fight with the black armor. With a loud rumble, the void shattered. An incomparably powerful figure appeared. With a palm strike, he sent 10,000 heavenly saints flying while spitting out blood. Behind him, Demon King Lad smashed his fist into 10,000 heavenly saints, causing a huge hole to appear in 10,000 heavenly saints' chest. The two invincible figures merged together. Demon King Lad glanced at this faceless man with some hesitation. At this moment, this man was still unwilling to reveal his identity. Demon King Lad coughed, "Your future body is here, I can't hide it for long." The faceless man said faintly, "It's just that my future body won't die. Who knows if I'm not 3 in 1. He smiled and quickly rushed toward the 10,000 heavenly saints. The 10,000 heavenly saints kept coughing blood, but his smile was brilliant. "No, you will die. Your future body will die, everyone will know who betrayed the human race." At this moment, an unbelievably wide river appeared. Lad and the faceless one stopped at the same time and were somewhat shocked. "I have no future, I don't cultivate the past, the 10,000 saints, I am the only one in the world." With a roar, his aura soared. The aura of the 10,000 saints at this moment was so powerful that it was terrifying. The injuries on his body instantly recovered. "You are finished." The 10,000 saints looked at them coldly. "You are finished." Lad and the faceless man were both shocked. What kind of monster was this? Soon, someone shouted, "He has no future, no past. Kill this avatar of his. There is no other in the world." The 10,000 heavenly saints only had this avatar. "Kill him." Boom. The battle erupted once again. This time, it was even more intense. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2190. 2190 Chapter 480 Inside and Outside the Heavens. Chiu subscribe. 1. No past, no future. Only the current Wan Tianqing. The 9th layer of the sun and moon was really the 9th layer. It wasn't invincible, nor was it quasi-invincible. However, his condition was very mysterious. He didn't have a past or future, but he had always been swimming in the river of time. He was always at the peak, the peak. He was as strong as he was in the past. He was as strong as he was in the future. He was in an extremely special state. This was a Tao that he had walked out on his own. No one could understand it. A traitor had appeared. Although it was only a future body, it was enough. If he killed this future body, his true body would also be exposed. Those unrivaled experts were all on the heavenly battlefield. At this moment, they were all in groups of 3 or 5, protecting one person. If anything happened, everyone around them would be able to see it, unless those 3 or 5 people were all traitors. Below, Suyu was also overjoyed. F***ck. This son of AB***tch had finally come out. It wasn't a wasted battle. This time, no matter what, they had to kill this fellow's future body. As long as they killed his future body, he wouldn't be able to hide anymore. As for Suyu, he also let out an explosive roar as his blood boiled. The aura of death spread out in all directions. All of you, Grandpa will beat all of you to death. Suyu let out a loud roar. At this moment, he was full of passion. I will beat all of you to death. Even if I can't beat all of you to death, I will still beat all of you to death in the 3 to 5 days ranking. The aura of death was endless. He was like a perpetual motion machine that would never tire. His aura of death would never be less. Of course, the prerequisite was that the invincible undead could withstand it. If Suyu felt that it wasn't a problem, then he wouldn't be able to do anything. He would just use his body to soar into the sky. That Star Moon Sovereign would have no problem. I believe in this powerful undead sovereign. Kill. At this moment, Suyu did not hide anything. With the blessing of the strength character and the vibration character, the breathing technique was activated. Every move, every punch, every palm, were all at their limits. Rumble. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. Boom. Dao Cheng, who had been blessed by the immortal king, was blasted apart by his 3 punches. His Sea of Will escaped and instantly recovered his body. Dao Cheng's expression was unsightly. That was the immortal race's flesh and blood regeneration technique. This Suyu also knew it. Of course, every flesh regeneration technique consumed a huge amount of energy. Zhan Wushuang stabbed his spear at Suyu. Suyu allowed the spear to pierce into his body. The 5 elements flames rose and with a humming sound, the void was ignited. In an instant, it turned into a gentle breeze. As the wind blew past, Suyu disappeared. He punched out and suddenly appeared, Zhan Wushuang's flesh and blood flew everywhere. Suyu fought more than 10 geniuses alone, and almost all of the geniuses on the heaven roll were blessed. These people might be immortal kings, devil kings, or half-emperors. However, these people didn't come personally. Perhaps they were afraid of death, or couldn't come. Suyu didn't care about this. He only knew one thing. Any power couldn't be created out of thin air. Since these people were blessed and were separated by the void, it meant that the price they paid was greater, and the power they paid was stronger. Under such circumstances, he looked like he was fighting the sun and the moon. Perhaps the other party was using all of his strength to bless him, which was equivalent to holding back more than 10 invincible tier warriors. He had experience. For example, although Suyu didn't care about himself, he knew one thing. Right now, Star Moon Sovereign was probably in a terrible state. He might not even be able to fight anymore. He hoped that the Sovereign was fine, and hoped that there wouldn't be a big battle in the undead world, no one would come and kill Star Moon. Of course, even if Star Moon was killed, Suyu still had a lot of death aura because he was the city lord. He did not lack death aura. Death aura continued to surge out from the Dead Soul passageway. However, it was transferred to the stone statue by a special array formation. The stone statue, on the other hand, was transferred to Suyu through the City Lord token. Under such circumstances, even if Star Moon was killed by someone, it was not a big deal. It was just that there was not as much death aura as there was now. As Suyu continued to attack, the aura of death continued to spread in all directions. The entire battleground turned into an aura of death. The other geniuses, including the sun and moon of the human race and the sun and moon of the 10,000 races, retreated one after another. At this moment, they did not dare to rashly come over to participate in the battle. These geniuses also cooperated very well. Every time Suyu wanted to kill someone, he was stopped by another genius. Suyu thought for a moment and gritted his teeth. I won't kill you. If I kill you, the unrivaled and semi-sovereign behind you won't continue to channel their power. I won't kill you and drag you along, forcing the experts behind you to continuously channel their power to support you. Moreover, these geniuses' goal was the ruins, the one tombstone. Suyu was also a bad person. He deliberately went to the ruins to fight with them. Let's fight together. Let's fight together. When Tombstone was nearby, those half-emperors and invincible probably couldn't bear to give it up. If they couldn't bear to give it up, then they wouldn't stop the transmission of power. I alone can hold back more than 10 invincible. Aren't you all afraid? Those people who achieve Tao in the heavenly battlefield shouldn't be thanking others, but me. Because of me, the stone sculptures destroyed more than 10 invincible 3-generation bodies. Because of me, today, 6 invincible, no, including this traitor, 7 invincible. Because of me, there were still more than 10 geniuses who had come to seize the tombstone. They were blessed by the invincible and half-emperor. Those people kept pouring in their power, and across a world, they were exerting the power of the sun and the moon. Perhaps it was the invincible's full strength. If they were not killed, if they were killed, the invincible behind them could not see any hope. They withdrew their power transmission, and instead, there was no restraining effect. Suyu's mind spun quickly. Let's drag it out. Drag it out until the end. He was fighting over there, and the others thought that he was trying to take the tombstone. After all, this thing was rumored to have a lot to do with the polytheistic culture. Hong Tan and the others had all increased their strength because of this. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2191. 2191 Chapter 480, Inside and Outside the Heavens 2. The others quickly stopped him. Zhan Wushuang even shouted angrily, Modwa Na, what are you doing? Modwa Na actually did not make a move. Bastard! Did he really think that he was the number one in the world and that no one was his match? Or did he still think that attacking Suyu together was beneath him? Was he an idiot? This was no longer a personal battle. Now, when Tombstone even involved the matters of the Emperor and the race. At this moment, most of the geniuses on the heaven roll were participating in the battle. However, Modwa was just watching the show. What was this idiot thinking? On the other side, Modwa didn't reply. Suyu was also surprised. What was Modwa doing? This fellow might have been possessed by a half-emperor. If he really made a move, the number one genius on the heaven roll would have a powerful physical body. Since he was able to fight against the sun and moon, his combat strength might not be weaker than Suyu's. Yet, this fellow actually didn't make a move. To be honest, Suyu was puzzled. What was he thinking? As for attacking him, that was normal. If it was him, he would have attacked others as well. He also liked to bully others when there were too many people. The key was that he had too few people to begin with. There was no other way. Otherwise, who would like to fight with too many people? Was Modwa that childish? Suyu thought about it, but Modwa didn't speak or attack. He just watched, silently watching. Make a move. Being attached to the power of an invincible or half-emperor, constantly changing his own structure, constantly adapting to those invincible and half-emperor. Modwa Na believed that some people were clear about what it meant. He wasn't too willing. I'm me, I'm not the next half-emperor, and I don't want to become the next half-emperor. He wouldn't make a move unless it was the end. If he really made a move, he also wanted to wait and see. Just as they were madly fighting. Along with an explosion that shook the human realm, there was a boom. The void exploded, and a powerful force swept in all directions. Boom! Many of the experts who approached either died or were seriously injured and dying, regardless of race. With a bang, the void exploded, and half of the golden mask shattered, revealing half of a very handsome face. Cough cough. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. The minister of the Yellow Division coughed and picked up a small stone. He looked at the illusory Dragon King, the river of time that ran through heaven and earth. He chuckled and said, "The past and the future are all dead. Dragon King by you, if you have the guts, come here now. I'll send you on your way." The figure of the Dragon King was illusory, and an illusory figure floated above the river of time. It was somewhat miserable. 3 bodies and 2 bodies dead. It was a battle between 3 lives, and the minister of the Huang department had only sent 3 lives. But now, in the battle, his 3 lives had been destroyed, leaving only his current body, which was still in the dragon world. Would he still come? Come my ass. This Dragon King was also very powerful, but 2 of his 3 bodies had been destroyed. If he came again, he would only be sending himself to his death. He was somewhat unwilling to accept this. The illusory figure floated above the long river and gradually disappeared. However, he was still unwilling to accept this. Who are you? Are you Xia Chen or someone else? Up until now, he still did not know who the person fighting with him was. As for cultivation techniques, methods, and the methods of the Divine Literature Department, sometimes they were similar. Moreover, after so many years, it was still difficult to determine who the other party was. The eternity of the human race has one more person. Everyone in the world knows who you are. It is impossible for the fallen eternity to be resurrected, and it is impossible for the undead eternity to have you. Who are you? He was not one of those who had died, nor was he one of those who were still alive. Could it be that he had verified his Tao in the ancient ruins? Or could it be that this fellow was just a 3-generation clone of someone whose 3rd generation was so strong? He was going to disappear. Now that he couldn't come back, he could only give up everything and ignore everything here. Although he really wanted to come back now, a Hades king had died today. He didn't want to be the next Dragon King to die. Minister Huang ignored him and the golden mask quickly recovered. Who am I? I won't tell you. It would be better if you didn't know for the rest of your life. It would be better if you were angered to death. Now that he was hiding in the dragon world and crossing the river of time to kill him, he was obviously courting death. Minister Huang wasn't interested in doing this. It wasn't that he couldn't be killed. Now, he had crossed the river of time and followed the 3 incarnations to the dragon world. He was a human, so he wouldn't be suppressed. There was still hope for him to kill the other party. But if he killed him, then he wouldn't be able to come back. Moreover, killing this Dragon King wouldn't change anything at this moment. Killing a Dragon King was meaningless. The Dragon King's shadow completely disappeared. When it disappeared, there was still a strong sense of unwillingness. Someone cursed, he didn't kill his current body. He was lucky enough to survive, and he kept nagging. He should have killed him and killed him directly. The person cursing was none other than Lord Xiaohou. Lord Xiaohou sent that quasi-invincible flying with a slash of his saber. He panted and said, "Let's call a truce and fight later. Minister Huang. Do me a favor and help me kill him first." Minister Huang ignored him. In an instant, he charged into another void. On the other side, Black Armor couldn't hold on much longer. Black Armor was fighting 2 invincible 3-generation bodies, 1 god and 1 devil. Celestial King Tian Dang and Lasty Devil King. Black Armor wasn't invincible after all. Even if his combat strength was extremely strong, he was still separated by the 3 bodies of the 2 combined. However, as Minister Huang joined the battle, the 2 of them joined hands and sealed the heaven and earth with divine runes. This time, it was the two invincible ones' turn to be extremely solemn. On the other side, Zhu Tiandao was completely suppressing the immortal king. This guy was very strong. Not only was he strong, he also had many methods. Invincible divine talismans, he had released dozens of them. When they exploded, causing the immortal king to curse wildly. Was the great Ming king crazy? Did he have nothing to do these years? Did he just draw divine talismans for his son? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2192. 2192 Chapter 480, Inside and Outside the Heavens Requests 3. The most crucial point was still on the side of the 10,000 heavenly saints. However, Demon King Lad was somewhat fearful. He only had his future body and didn't dare to go too far. This also resulted in the Faceless being constantly blasted away under the powerful suppressive force of the 10,000 heavenly saints. The 10,000 heavenly saints roamed through the void and said indifferently, "You're dead for sure, I said it. Why don't you 3-in-1 come over personally and fight me? Your future body is far from being my match. I'll give you a chance because I'll kill you personally." 3-in-1. Crossing the river of time, the Faceless one didn't say a word. He didn't expect that the 10,000 heavenly saints was ridiculously strong. He and Lad couldn't defeat the 10,000 heavenly saints even if they joined hands. He was a bit angry and unwilling. He said coldly, 10,000 heavenly saints, do you really want to force me to betray the human race? I didn't mean to betray you. I said that I have a personal grudge with Yi Batian. It's just a personal grudge. Haven't you killed the human race in your life? Why do you want to force me? Personal vendetta. Wan Tianxing said coldly, then tell me, what kind of personal vendetta is it that makes you think that killing him is not the end? All these years, you have been constantly getting people to assassinate the geniuses of the many divine languages department. Personal vendetta. Isn't it enough that you killed him? Do you still want to continue exterminating the many divine languages department? He was incomparably powerful. Sword after sword, he slashed the Faceless man until he continuously stepped through the void. The river of time flowed, and only then did those sword wounds recover. The Faceless man said angrily, "You forced me. You forced me again and again, forcing me to appear. If Lu Wenyan no longer inherited Yi Batian's divine prose, this would not have happened. His divine prose remained. How would I know if he could be resurrected? Only by completely cutting off everything about him can I destroy him." Wan Tianxing said coldly, "Is that so? You speak so righteously. In the end, you still covet his divine prose, his cultivation method, and everything about him. Otherwise, you wouldn't have stolen his information." When he said this, the Faceless one was extremely furious. He shouted coldly, "Nonsense, Yi Batian didn't leave any information behind. Even if he did, it wasn't me who took it. After I killed him, I didn't even dare to return to the human realm, so how could I steal any information?" Wan Tianxing frowned slightly and didn't say anything more. Sword chi kept erupting, and the void was cut into pieces. Demon King Lad had the intention to fish in troubled waters. He didn't put in too much effort, which also made the Faceless one feel even more pressure. 7 invincible 3-generation bodies weren't enough. The human realm today was beyond everyone's imagination. Just as they were fighting non-stop, there was a rumble, and a broken sun fell. He. Dead, dead, dead. The Holy Land is where the Holy Church is. Hearing this voice, everyone felt their scalps go numb. In the void, countless blue skies were laughing and laughing. In the battle, blue skies finally killed a quasi-invincible. At this point, out of the 17 quasi-invincible experts, 9 had been killed. More than half had died. The remaining 8 quasi-invincible experts came from the demon race, Five Elements Race, Ancient Giant Race, Immortal Race, Vitra Lion Race, Heavenly Spirit Monkey Race, Golden Winged Great ROC Race, and Nine-Headed Bird Race. At this moment, the 8 experts quickly gathered together. The pressure was enormous. In the surroundings, the original cult master, Lu Wenyan, Lord Xia Ho, and Niu Bendao were all injured. The others had gone to other places to support. As for Lan Tian, he had killed a quasi-invincible expert. At this moment, he picked up a load, he laughed and said, "I want to fuse with the Tao. Do you all want to see it? It's very interesting to fuse with the Tao. The past and the future aren't interesting. How about I fuse with the Tao of the myriad races to show you guys?" Madman! Lord Xia Ho cursed angrily, "Be normal. Can you fuse with the Tao normally? You'll kill yourself." Although this madman was very crazy, he had come back to rescue him this time and even killed a quasi-invincible. Seeing him go crazy and want to merge with the Tao of the 10,000 races, Lord Xia Ho still cursed for a while. "Don't make a fuss, you'll die. This fellow can really torture me to death. Come on, don't merge with the Tao. Isn't it fun to kill these 8 quasi-invincible experts?" He wasn't willing to let Blue Sky merge with the Tao, but the quasi-invincible experts of the 10,000 races couldn't wait for him to merge with the Tao. This Blue Sky was crazy. There was definitely a problem with his Tao, and there was a high chance that he wouldn't be able to get any past or future. Under such circumstances, he would die if he messed around. Just let him die. Blue Sky ignored them and said with a chuckle, "I'm going to fuse with the Tao. The first Tao, what will I fuse with? Immortal Tao? Divine Tao? Demonic Tao? Fuse with the myriad Tao, one load at a time. I want a load. I want 10,000 pieces." Everyone thought he was crazy. Because he was really crazy. According to what he said, if he fused the Taos, he wanted 10,000 loads to fuse the Taos. What the F***ck, did the myriad realms have so many loads? If you killed all the undefeatable ones and all the quasi-undefeatable ones, it would probably be difficult to gather so many. Not just killing one would have a load. Some would shatter. For example, the 10,000 heavenly saints killed the Nether River King. There was nothing, but that drop of Nether River water essence shattered. The Southern Yuan War broke out violently. On the heavenly battlefield. This time, a large number of unrivaled experts were restrained. 6 unrivaled experts of the 10,000 races personally went to the human realm. Many unrivaled experts were supporting their descendants and fighting with Suyu in order to obtain the tombstone. Previously, a portion of the unrivaled experts had their 3 lives destroyed by the stone sculptures. This time, they didn't dare to come out again. From start to finish, they had lost close to 30 invincible state experts. This was an extremely terrifying number. At this moment, on the battlefield of the heavens, a long river of time appeared. It was the human race and the other experts of the 10,000 races who were preparing to reach the Tao. They were opening the river of time and fishing out the past and future. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2193. 2193 Chapter 480, Inside and Outside the Heavens 4. On the Sea of Stars, the Great Qin King and the others quickly arrived. The Great Qin King, the Great Xia King, the Silkworm Exterminating King, the Heaven Banning King, and the Heaven Casting King, the 5 unrivaled kings, personally protected Xia Longwu. Along with Xia Longwu, the 6 of them had just landed in the Sea of Stars, and waves of unrivaled auras rose from all directions. Great Qin King, give up. Someone said coldly, whether the others succeed or not depends on luck. Xia Longwu must die. We can let the others go, but Xia Longwu, don't even think about it. Once the King of Slaughter attains the Tao, the heavens will fall into chaos. Great Qin King, do you really have to be enemies with all the clans? Xia Longwu massacred all the clans, and his crimes are unforgivable. One after another, invincible figures appeared, and in the blink of an eye, a total of 15 invincible figures appeared. All of them were incredibly powerful. Because on this side, there were a few powerful invincibles. The Great Qin King and the Great Xia King were both very powerful, and there were many of them. There were 15 invincibles, and they were able to snipe Xia Long. There was even someone who said coldly, "Tianzhu King, come here. Your future body is about to explode. Your identity has been exposed. Come back quickly." Tianzhu King was speechless. Crazy. Looking at the people around him and seeing that they didn't care, Tianzhu King said helplessly, "Don't take it seriously. It's not me." With that, 3 Tianzhu Kings appeared and said helplessly, "These guys want to slander me. Great Xia King, stop pretending. It's all your own scheme. You deliberately said that you were a traitor. In fact, you were jealous of Yi Badian and Xia Chen, so you deliberately killed them." The Great Xia King couldn't be bothered with them. The Great Qin King said coldly, "Do you really have to do this? 2 eternal emperors have fallen recently. How many more do you have to add? Great Qin King, you are very strong, but 3 eternal emperors will deal with you. Is that enough? If not, how about 4? He, heaven cast, heaven forbidden, and silkworm extermination, 1 each is enough. The remaining 12 are prepared for you, Great Qin King, and Great Xia King. Are you satisfied?" Unrivaled experts surrounded them one after another. You think highly of the Great Qin King, don't you? The 12 unrivaled experts are here for you and the Great Xia King. As for the other 3, they were just ordinary level unrivaled experts. 3 unrivaled experts were enough to deal with them. The Great Qin King frowned. It was a little heavy. Under such circumstances, it was almost impossible for Xia Long to succeed in attaining Tao. He and the Great Xia King were very strong, but no matter how strong they were, there was a limit. They didn't need 12 experts. If 6 of them came, it would be difficult for them to hold on. After all, since they dared to attack them, there were almost no weaklings. They were all invincible experts. The Great Qin King couldn't help but frown. In other places, there were already people who were preparing to attain the Tao. Attaining the Tao wasn't something that could be done in a day. Sometimes, if one's luck wasn't good, it would take a long time. 15 Eternals. It was even more than he had expected. In order to stop Xia Longwu, the 10,000 races had gone all out. There was also the danger of death from stopping the human experts from attaining the Tao. Not everyone was willing to take action. Back then, when Yi Badian reached the Tao, there were less than 40 undefeatable experts. At that time, the human race could still fight. This time, they had spread out to more than 10 places. There were actually 15 people gathered here. There were undefeatable experts from all over the place. There were at least 3 to 5 people, and at most, there were more than 10 people from the Great Zhou Kingdom. There were also more than 10 undefeatable experts from the Endless Void. This time, there were almost 100 invincible experts from all the races. There were more than 10 invincible experts from the various races of the gods and demons, and even the immortals appeared. The Great Qin King looked at one of the invincible experts in the crowd and sighed, "The immortals, are they going to completely break the alliance?" The Immortal King said calmly, "The humans have repeatedly violated the will of all the races, and it is common knowledge that they have destroyed many of the divine literature department. It is common knowledge that Xia Longwu cannot verify the Tao. Time and time again, the immortals have to uphold justice, and they cannot sit idly by and watch the myriad races in turmoil." Ha! The Great Xia King sneered, "If you are AB*TCH, then don't set up a memorial arch." The Immortal King did not say much and said calmly, "It is impossible for Xia Longwu to succeed. Even if we cannot kill him, the emperors of the various races are all preparing to descend here at any time. For him, is the great Qin king going to bury the human race? Once the great Qin king and the great Xia king died in battle, the human race would be scattered. There would no longer be such a high prestige and invincibility that could barely integrate the human race. At the very least, at this moment, even if there were traitors in the human race, they could still barely unite their hearts. This was because of the great Qin king and the others. They could still barely integrate the scattered hearts of the human race. The great Qin king did not speak. The immortal king said indifferently again, if the great Qin king leaves, no one will stop the Qin town. Let him verify his Tao. Not only the Qin town, but also Qin Hao. In the future, if he verifies his Tao, all the races will agree. The Qin family can prove their Tao at will. Great Qin king, in the next few generations, the human emperor will be you. The great Qin king looked at him and coldly said, Human emperor. Do you think I only care about the position of human emperor? The immortal king said indifferently, Great Qin king, if you don't care, someone will. If you don't want to be the human emperor, someone will. Your existence has stopped those people and suppressed them. Your existence is not a good thing for some experts of the human race. Childish. With a cold shout, a long spear tore through the void and cut through the sea of stars. The great Qin king took a step forward and said coldly, Then today, you will try and see if you can step over my corpse. Behind him, Xia Longwu didn't care about this. Suddenly, he tore through the void and a vast river of time appeared. He floated above the river of time. From the looks of it, he wanted to fish out the last 3 incarnations and complete the unity. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2194. 2194 Chapter 480, Inside and Outside the Heavens 5. At the same time that Xia Longwu tore through the void. In the heaven-destroying city. The heavenly river city lord didn't care about being beaten up by the stone statue anymore. He walked into the main hall and said respectfully, My lord, I'm going to use my authority as the city lord later. All 36 city lords who respond, gather as one. Protect one person. The stone statue didn't say anything. The city lord of Tianhe City lowered his head and said, I know that my lord doesn't want to care about this, and I also know that this is not within my lord's rules, but... My lord, please forgive me. I know that my lord has treated me well, but I want to regain my freedom. I don't want to become a living dead person. I don't want to become a dead spirit after I die. At this moment, the stone statue of Tianmi suddenly opened his eyes. It said calmly, Very good. I hope that Xia Longwu can help you cut off the death aura passage and help you escape. If you abdicate earlier, I would have a very good city lord now. You trash, why didn't you leave earlier? The heavenly river city lord was stunned. At such a sad moment, how could you say such a thing? It was rare for you to say such a thing in hundreds of years. Today, I bid you farewell, and you actually said such a thing. You actually can't wait for me to leave. I've been working diligently for you for hundreds of years. Even if I don't have any merits, I still have hard work. If I leave, I'll leave, but if you chase me away, my heart is broken. This is considered as his resignation. But before he resigned, he was still a dedicated employee. In the end, the boss didn't stop him, but told him to get lost earlier. He even felt that why didn't he get lost earlier? This was too much. This was really too much. Tianhe could not hold it in anymore. He could not hold it in anymore. Sir, I personally sent Su Yu to you. I sent him to your door and to your side. You were the one who chased him away. You were the one who personally sent him the shuttle talisman and told him to leave. Otherwise, if he could not leave, he would be a resident of the ancient city. Sir, you can't blame me for this, right? I've worked for you for hundreds of years, and you're treating me like this? Don't blame me for telling the truth. You asked for it. Tianmie's eyes suddenly widened, and he became lawless. He dared to rebuke me. He was rebuking me. He actually rebuked me. For hundreds of years, this fellow was as obedient as a baby, and he actually rebuked me. Tianhe. Tianmie city lord said coldly, don't forget, even if you cut off the death aura passage, you were personally transformed by the death spirit sovereign. That fellow won't die, and you'll still be transformed sooner or later. Humph. Who's afraid of whom? You won't be able to run away. Even if you ran away now and the death aura passage was cut off, that sovereign would establish the passage again sooner or later. Tianhe also went all out. He was unwilling to be outdone and said, as long as I cut off the death aura for a period of time and remove the death aura before transforming again, I won't be able to turn into a death spirit so quickly. This is also a chance to live. Tianhe said coldly, then, you'll be a resident of Heaven Destruction City again. Are you going to fight with me? Think carefully. If you don't want to become a dead spirit, first, cut off the passage, and second, kill the sovereign of the dead spirit. You can't do it, so you can only come back after a period of time. Do you want to go against me? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to be beaten? Tianhe was stunned for a moment. That's right. F***ck. Even if I sever the passageway, even if I remove the aura of death, after a period of time, that sovereign will once again establish the passageway. Why would I have to come back? Am I being trapped? Then, is it not good for me to talk to the boss in the city like this? Tianhe instantly changed his attitude, he smiled and said, Sir, you've misunderstood. Actually, that's not what I meant. What I meant was. Yes, what I meant was that I didn't bring much benefit to Sir all these years. I regret it very much. I'm ashamed to be the city lord. If Su Yu is willing, I'm willing to abdicate and give up my position to a worthy person. After I cut off the death aura passage, I'll go look for Su Yu and beg him to become the city lord with 2 positions. After all, Sir is also his benefactor and has given him many opportunities. Heaven's Destruction did not want to hear this. It pierced his heart. What a load of nonsense. With a glare, Tianhe disappeared and reappeared outside the main hall. In the next moment, a voice sounded by his ear. If you really leave, remember to go. You have to fulfill your promise to me. Otherwise, if you return again, I will transfer all the death chi to you. F***ck. You might as well kill me. Tianhe cursed in his heart. Su Yu was already carrying a city. Did you think he was stupid enough to really become the city lord? In your dreams. I was stupid enough to let the other party go. Now, he's blaming me. This is infuriating. Forget it, I don't care about this huge rock. What promise or no promise? I didn't say it. If I can cut off the passageway this time. There's really no other way. I'll go to the Starry Manor and hide. Even though under normal circumstances, I'll die if I don't come out, even if I die, I won't come back and be a living dead person. Tianhe cursed in his heart. I won't come back even if I die. Forget it, I'll take a look. If it's too dangerous, it's actually not bad to come back. After all, I'm still an overlord of a region. With the scene in ancient starred city, the status of the city lords of each city has risen greatly. Ordinary people wouldn't dare to provoke them. Being a city lord is actually not bad. Tianhe thought to himself. Very quickly, he shifted his gaze. He didn't care about all this. Let's first pass this trial before anything else. Let's gather the city lords of each city and protect Xia Longwu's Dao. This is a tough battle. With Xia Longwu dead, there was no hope of cutting off the passage. Behind him, the heaven-destroying stone sculpture silently watched him leave. He didn't know what he was thinking. Most likely, he was thinking about Su Yu. The world is so big, and I also want to go out and take a look. Xinghong. F***ck your grandpa. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2195. 2195 Chapter 481, The Descent of the Original Body 1. Nanyuan. The blue sky wanted to merge with the Tao and merge with the Tao of all races. Everyone thought that he was crazy. However, no one could control him or stop him at this moment. That crazy person stopped killing and tore apart time and space. A long river of time appeared. He was not trying to salvage the past and future. He was fumbling around in the long river of time and was very crazy. He chuckled and said, "Let me tell you how to merge with the Tao of the myriad races. These myriad races of mine exist in my past memories. I want to retrieve their past and combine it with the present. The past and present are mine, and the future is mine." He was teaching everyone how to merge with the Tao of the myriad races. However, no one was interested. What a joke. Those clones of his were not him after all. He wanted to forcefully retrieve the past of others and fuse them with the appearance of the puppets. This was a crazy idea. Firstly, it would be difficult to retrieve their past. Their past was not the blue sky. Retrieving the past of others was akin to killing someone by going back in time. The moment he triggered a time counterattack, he would definitely die. Secondly, even if he succeeded in retrieving their past and fusing them together, his clones might revive and regain their memories. Once they remembered that the blue sky had killed them, they would definitely take revenge. This madman had only given up on killing himself. No one cared about him, and they couldn't do anything about it either. At this moment, Su Yu was engaged in a fierce battle with these geniuses. The aura of death was overflowing, and with a loud rumble, a group of people opened the entrance to the ancient domain. The entrance to the ancient domain was originally at the toilet bowl, but now the house was gone, not to mention the toilet bowl. Su Yu did not care too much. He, who had not prepared to enter before, instantly entered the ruin. The others followed him in as well. Someone shouted, "Seize the tombstone. Don't let him take it away." The moment the entrance to the ruin opened, other than those who were fighting, those who had not made a move changed their expressions. The moment the entrance opened, they felt an extremely dense heaven yuan qi. They saw a pool of sun-moon profound yellow liquid. They saw two objects that were constantly colliding in the void. They also saw a floating tombstone in the void, as well as the unfathomable words, civilization. The residence of civilization had opened. At the periphery, the humans who did not participate in the battle, the humans who were fighting and the myriad races, and the geniuses who did not participate in the battle, all had a change in expression. After struggling for a moment, the group of people flew over, snatching the relics. Other places were dangerous, and they couldn't participate in the invincible battle. However, snatching the relics, seizing the benefits, and running away after obtaining the items might not be hopeless. In the battle between quasi-invincible and invincible, there were still some items left behind. However, who dared to snatch them? Although Su Yu and the others were very powerful, they hadn't reached that stage yet. On the contrary, they were much safer. Moreover, these items were ownerless. A group of people entered one after another. One by one, they jumped into the opening of the void rift and entered the ruins. In an instant, a huge battle broke out within the ruins. At the same time as the Great War broke out in the southern origin. Great Xia Manor, Prefecture City. In the Prefecture City, Xia Huyo was here. He was too weak and had returned after a trip to the southern origin. He stayed in the Prefecture City. At this moment, over 1,000 guards were filled with killing intent as they looked at Xia Huyo. Xia Huyo stood on the high platform, which was his father's general platform. He stood on the high platform and looked down. He smiled and said, "During the Great War of the Southern Yuan, foreign enemies invaded. The great Xia Prefecture is in danger. I am the son of Xia Longwu, the great-grandson of the great Xia Emperor. Everyone says that my father is good at fighting and that he is the devil among the unrivaled great ancestors. I, Xia Huyo, am nothing." Xia Huyo smiled and said, "After living for so many years, I have not achieved much. I am just treating it as a joke. Today, I want to learn from my father. Generals, are you willing to fulfill my wish?" The thousands of guards did not speak. There was only the sound of blades being drawn in unison, resounding through the clouds. Xia Huyo smiled and said, "That's good. Then I will have to trouble everyone to follow me to the great Xia Prefecture to thoroughly clean up the scum in the prefecture." He laughed and said, "The prefecture city's array formation has been activated. Everyone, this time. I'm tired. Your Highness is wise." A chorus of shouts rang out and Xia Huyo smiled and said, "Awkward, I'm not wise. Stop flattering me. Let's go." He flew out of the prefecture, and Ji Hong appeared beside him at some point. He was Xia Huyo's Dao protector. A moment later, a figure appeared, somewhat aged. Xia Huyo looked at the person and smiled. "Elder Bai, my second grandfather and the others didn't allow you to participate in the battle because you are a dragon. Now that I have something to do, are you willing to lend a hand?" "Yes, Your Highness." Xia Huyo smiled and nodded. He waved his hand, and thousands of soldiers, filled with killing intent, followed him. A moment later, the Great Xia Civilization Academy arrived. At this moment, the Civilization Academy was also in a state of unrest. Most of the pavilion elders had left the academy and headed to the southern plains to participate in the war. There were still some who had not left. At this moment, the academy was in a state of chaos. As for the students, it was also in a state of chaos. Xia Huyo took a deep breath. He slowly said, "If you do not order the pavilion elders to stay, kill without mercy. If you avoid the war, kill without mercy. If you trespass into the secret realm, kill without mercy. Kill all the students of the myriad races. Kill all the new students of the Divine Literature Academy. Kill all those who create chaos, kill without mercy. Kill." "Yes, my lord." Over 1,000 soldiers instantly charged into the academy. Within the academy, a large number of guards appeared. Looking at the charging soldiers, Xia Huyo floated in mid-air and said coldly, "Guards, listen up and follow their orders. Just do as they are told. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories." Chapter 2196. 2196 Chapter 481 The main body descends too. Yes. Along with the shouts of the guards, the entire academy soon descended into a massacre. Suddenly, someone said angrily, "Xia Huyo, what are you doing?" A person flew over and an old man flew into a rage. "Xia Huyo, are you rebelling?" Xia Huyo glanced at him and sighed, "Grandpa Chongqing, it's you." Xia Chongqing, the vice principal of the great Xia mansion. Xia Huyo said softly, "Grandpa Chongqing, according to second grandpa's orders, you should be in the southern Yuan at this moment." Xia Chongqing's expression changed slightly as he said, "That side is all about the battle of the sun and moon. I'm not the sun and moon, so it's useless to go there. It's better to stay in the academy and protect the academy, protect these students, and protect the foundation of the great Xia mansion." Xia Huyo nodded and turned to look at Ji Hong. He nodded slightly and said with a smile, "Director Ji, kill him." Ji Hong was slightly stunned. He thought that he had heard wrongly. Xia Chongqing, this was a member of the Xia family, and he was also a peak expert of the Xia family. Director Ji, you want to disobey the order. Ji Hong's heart trembled slightly. In the next moment, he roared, and a huge seal was thrown out. As for Xia Changqing, his expression changed drastically. He said angrily, "How dare you? I am a member of the Xia family, and my father is the brother of the emperor of Great Xia. Xia Huyo, you vile creature, how dare you offend your superiors?" Xia Huyo ignored him. He watched silently and coldly. Since he was a member of the Xia family, how could he not listen to the Xia family's military orders? Even outsiders could participate in the battle. As a peak mountain and sea expert, even if you weren't a match for the sun and moon, you should be able to hold off a first-level sun and moon expert for a while. Not too long after, Ji Hong smashed his palm down on Xia Huyo, causing him to spurt blood. In an instant, he sealed the other party with divine inscriptions and captured him in front of Xia Huyo. However, Xia Changqing was still unable to contain his rage. "Xia Huyo, you scoundrel! Have you forgotten that when you were young?" Xia Huyo sighed and looked at Ji Hong. Shaking his head, he thought, "This fellow, he told you to listen to his orders, but you have given him a discount." A long saber appeared. It was the saber of the Xia clan. "Grandpa Changqing. In your next life, don't be a member of the Xia clan anymore." With a sigh and a low growl, he slashed down with his saber. With a poochie sound, blood splattered 3 feet in all directions. As the head fell, Xia Changqing's eyes widened in shock. His sea of will was still trying to reassemble, but it was instantly frozen by Ji Hong. Xia Huyo slashed down once more, and with a bang, his sea of will was shattered. Xia Changqing had fallen. A member of the Xia clan, who was at the peak of the mountain and sea realm, was the vice principal of the Institute of Civilization. Xia Huyo had personally beheaded him. At this moment, the soldiers in the area completely understood the determination of the Xia clan's highness. Those who chose to avoid the battle, were to be killed. These experts were all included in the military order. If they didn't go, they would be disobeying the military order. This matter had to be done by the Xia clan. Otherwise, who would dare to kill an existence like Xia Changqing? The instant Xia Changqing was killed, many figures appeared in the Institute of Civilization. The leader was none other than Zhou Mingren, who had just returned. Sun-Moon Realm expert. Behind him were 7 or 8 pavilion elders, all of whom were experts of the mountain and sea realm. Behind them were 20 to 30 experts of the Soaring Cloud Realm and Soaring Cloud Realm. They all rose into the air and looked at Xia Huyo and the others. Xia Huyo looked over and smiled. "Principal Zhou, according to the military order, you should also go to the southern Yuan. Why didn't you go?" Zhou Mingren sighed and looked at him. "If I said that I followed the order of the Seeker Realm and was responsible for guarding the Civilization Academy, would you believe me?" "Yes." Xia Huyo nodded and said with a smile, "But this is the great Xia manner." Behind him, an elder said angrily, "We are civilization masters, not warriors. We are responsible for studying civilization. Researching my *SS. Xia Huyo laughed, "Civilized masters are in charge of researching. A civilized master who hasn't researched anything yet has the cheek to call himself a civilized master. If it were those civilized masters from Daming Prefecture who are skilled, I wouldn't say much. There are also a few such civilized masters in the prefecture who have been forcefully detained by my Xia clan. As for you guys, kill them." Hong Long. This time, Ji Hong and Bai Long made their move. The battle erupted in an instant. "Xia Huyo, your Xia clan actually massacred the people of my prefecture, are you crazy?" Xia Huyo stood at the outer perimeter. He muttered, "You can't control outsiders, but can't you control your own people? Under the protection of my Xia clan, you eat and drink our food. You won't interfere in external conflicts, but internal conflicts are first-rate. Even if the Xia clan is destroyed, you will be buried along with it." Bang! A pavilion elder was instantly destroyed, and one civilized master after another was massacred and killed. Xia Huyo looked down. Under the sky, the great Xia family didn't have any requirements. He just needed to hide well. However, in the next moment, Xia Huyo landed on the ground. Looking at the few people who wanted to escape in front of him, he sighed softly, "Wang Qifeng, you are still alive. Your luck is really good. Suyu forgot about you, a small shrimp. I also forgot that you are still alive." On the other side, Huang Qifeng said in fear, "Xia Huyo. No, Your Highness, I'm just 1,000 stones, not soaring into the sky. I don't need to participate in the battle." "Right." Xia Huyo smiled and nodded. Huang Qifeng let out a sigh of relief. "But I want to kill you. Split open the sky." With a low shout, he slashed out with his saber. With a bang, his head fell off. Huang Qifeng's eyes also widened. "Dead." Xia Huyo glanced at the people beside him. He said indifferently, "Kill them all. You cannot participate in the battle when you are in the air. But, pack up your things. Are you preparing to run away? Ordinary people can run away. You people, the various universities are all reserve soldiers. If you run away, you are deserters. When the Xia family is destroyed, they will naturally let you leave. They won't let everyone die with them. But, isn't it still not destroyed? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2197. 2197 Chapter 481 The Real Body Arrives 3. A team of soldiers quickly moved out to kill the students who wanted to escape from the Great Xia Mansion. Slaughter. Blood. Screams could be heard everywhere. Xia Huyo stepped on the blood with a calm expression as he walked around the school. In the sky, with a boom, another mountain and sea was destroyed. At this moment, someone with disheveled hair quickly flew over. He called out weakly, "Your Highness, I'm from the immortal race. The immortal king of the immortal race is an ally of the Xia family. Your Highness, quickly tell these people that I'm different from the others." Xia Huyo asked in surprise, "You didn't leave?" He smiled and said, "I thought you went to the southern origin. Why didn't you leave?" "Fairy Yu Xian, there are many immortals in the southern origin." Yu Xian hurriedly said, I can't bear to leave Your Highness. Come here." Xia Huyo waved his hand and said with a smile, "What you said, you can't bear to leave me, it's really touching." Yu Xian hurriedly flew over, filled with terror. She didn't expect that the Xia clan would actually sweep away these experts who didn't participate in the battle. These were all experts and geniuses that the Xia clan had nurtured. Also, the Xia clan accepted these students from the myriad races. When the polytheistic college opened, a large number of disciples entered. The Xia clan actually wanted to kill them all. This was crazy. She flew towards Xia Huyo and comforted herself. "It's fine. Xia Huyo admires me and hopes to obtain the support of my immortal clan." Just as she was thinking about this, Xia Huyo raised his saber and laughed. In the next moment, Yu Xian only saw a flash of saber light. With a poochie sound, a flower-like head fell off. Xia Huyo said disdainfully, "Universe Immortal King. He is now besieging the invincible human race." He killed Yu Xian with one saber strike, killing this fairy whom he usually fawned on. As a little fairy, killing her would make her look better and keep her face young. Xia Huyo glanced at the sky and didn't pay much attention to it. He turned to the other soldiers and said, "All the major academies, sweep them all. Other than the experts in charge of keeping watch, kill all those above the mountains and seas. Ting Kong and Ling Yun, capture them first, and kill anyone who resists. The same goes for all the big families. The Great Xia Manor doesn't need these people." "Yes, sir." A group of guards quickly left. The entire Great Xia Manor quickly fell into chaos. Some experts shouted, "Everyone, stay at home and don't go out. The Great Xia Manor will seal the city for 3 days and inspect the traders." Battles broke out everywhere. Experts from large clans soared into the air. Some fled, while others joined the battle. The slaughter continued. Xia Huyo walked within the academy and sighed. Even though the Grand Xia Manor was good at fighting, there were too many people. In the end, there were still some people who were afraid of death. It was fine if they were commoners. These experts were all nurtured by the Xia clan after paying a huge price and giving them resources. The existence of a large family clan was not for them to flaunt their might. Instead, it was for them to lead the way in the face of a great battle. Unfortunately, there were still some people who did not understand and did not listen to the order to participate in the battle. In the air, Zhou Mingren's blood was flowing profusely after being struck by the white dragon of the 8th level of the sun and moon. Suddenly, he sighed and said, "Can you say a few words to me?" The white dragon looked at Xia Huyo below. Xia Huyo nodded slightly and said, "Headmaster, please speak." Zhou Mingren dragged his body and flew down. Blood continued to flow out of his body. He looked at Xia Huyo and smiled. He panted and said, "It's only right for you to kill me. Strictly speaking, the battle of numbers started from me." Xia Huyo nodded slightly. "I know that Headmaster Zhou might not have the intention to kill you all, but, why didn't Headmaster Zhou participate in this battle?" The people from the Polytheistic Divine Arts Department, including Headmaster Hong, said that if you participated in the battle, they wouldn't kill you. There were some things that Zhou Mingren might not have meant. Just because the people below were fighting fiercely didn't mean that he wanted to kill them all. Zhou Mingren smiled. Participating in the battle. Actually, I wanted to go. Whether I listened to the orders of those in the search realm or not, it was all the same. In the Great Xia Manor, the reputation of those in the search realm has long been tarnished. Then why is it so? Xia Huyo looked at him. This was also the only person who didn't go to the southern Yuan, the sun and moon. Of course, the two beside him didn't count. Zhou Mingren chuckled and said, "You might not believe me if I tell you. I think that the Xia family can win. If I go, I might be able to survive. But, forget it. I've made many mistakes in my life. I'm too selfish, and I've been schemed against a few times." He shook his head, he chuckled and said, "Instead of looking at others' faces, I'll wait for Hong Tan and the others to gain power, taunt me, and ridicule me. Forget it. Besides, I'm not that innocent. There are some things that I know, but I just pretended not to know, including killing Feng Qi and the others. I want to say that I really did not know beforehand, but after that, I knew, and I hid it." He smiled and said, "I've already done it. There's nothing to regret. However, I'm afraid you'll be in quite a lot of trouble." "Me?" Xia Huyo smiled and said, "What trouble could I be in?" Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "I've contacted quite a number of people. Soon, they will arrive." "Who are they?" I said, "The defense system of the Great Xia Mansion has collapsed. In the entire Great Xia Mansion, only Elder Bai, the sun and moon, is left. The Great Xia Mansion has countless wealth and countless secret realms of the civilized academy. Cultivation techniques, resources, blood essence, including the Xia family, countless secret techniques, and countless treasures." Cough cough cough. Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "So, you're in a lot of trouble. In the entire human realm, there are some villains, some experts of the Divine Literature Department, and some experts of the search realm. Some of the people I have contacted on a daily basis, or those who have contacted me in the past. They might all come this time, or even have already arrived. Because the defense system of the Great Xia Mansion has collapsed, there is only one dragon who is at the 8th level of the sun and moon. Do you think anyone would be tempted? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2198. 2198 Chapter 481 The Descent of the Main Body 4. Xia Huyo sighed, "You are creating trouble for me." Zhou Mingren smiled and nodded, "But I believe you can solve it, right? But it's best not to kill me now. It's fine to kill the mountains and seas, but kill me, the waning moon will crash and people will see it. They know that only Elder Bai and I are in the city. If I die, they will know that they are exposed." Xia Huyo smiled and said, "Can they deal with Elder Bai? What about the 8th layer of the sun and moon?" Cough cough cough, Zhou Mingren coughed up blood and said, "Yes, they can. It might take 1/9 layer of the sun and moon, or 2 or 3/8 layer of the sun and moon, but their identities are probably not low. Do you dare to kill them? You really think highly of me." Xia Huyo shook his head and said, "You think too highly of me. Are you trying to kill the Xia family?" "No." Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "I didn't mean that. I think everyone is trying to attract people over. The disciples of the big families in the southern Yuan, the experts of the big families, the experts of the various manners who don't participate in the battle and watch the show, I think, all of them are going to die. Because our great Xia manners have produced a madman. Since that madman has walked out, he will definitely start a massacre. I'm afraid that you haven't attracted enough people. I'll give you something to add." Zhou Mingren smiled, and Xia Hu asked in surprise, "You know?" Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "I know, of course I know. How many years have I worked with him? It's not just him. Yi Batian, Yun Chen, and these people have worked with me for many years. How could I not know? Even if I didn't know at the beginning, I would know later on. After Yi Batian died, when the Wan Tianxing returned, I knew that he had become a little bewitched. He would definitely take revenge, but in the end. 50 years. He didn't make a move and didn't say anything about this. When he made his move on Yumming, he was warning me not to make any more trouble. I know what he meant." Xia Huyo looked at him silently. Since that was the case, why did he continue? Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "You don't understand. The Many Divine Languages Department has a characteristic, or rather, a flaw. It's more sentimental and a little silly. It's time to constantly make decisions that will lead to chaos. Whether it's Yi Batian, the first generation, the third generation, or even the 10,000 heavenly saints, all of them have this kind of weakness. If we don't force them into a corner and push them to a dead end, they'll always feel that it's fine. They won't dare to not kill these people, let alone their old friends from the past. Killing them would be a little unreasonable. In the end, after Yi Batian's death, some of his enemies have appeared." Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "Don't you think that's very foolish? For the future generations, and for the inheritance, leaving behind a huge hidden danger. Actually, my relationship with them in the past was quite good. If I admit my mistake, they won't kill me. But if they don't kill me, when they die again, do you think that I won't take revenge for the rest of my life?" Xia Huyo looked at him and said indifferently, "Then does the headmaster mean that you want to use your blood to wake them up?" "No, I'm not that great." Zhou Mingren smiled and said, "I just feel that I don't need to beg for mercy in front of them. I just want to live on. That's too lowly. Also, I don't want to be someone else's chess piece anymore. It would be too stupid of me." The Zhou family said that they were suppressing the Many Divine Arts Department, but in reality, the Zhou family didn't interfere too much. They arranged for me, a collateral branch, to be here. This is a signal. The Zhou family has predicted me and seen through me. The Zhou family isn't anything good either. Xia Huyo did not say anything. Zhou Mingren said again, "I still have something I want to tell you, but I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a conjecture of mine. I'm afraid that I've misled some people. I didn't tell you. Do you want to hear it? Xia Huyo smiled and said, tell me. Zhou Mingren hesitated for a moment. He transmitted his voice and said, the Zhou family has been researching and cultivating divine arts. Remember, it's divine arts, not civilized masters. It's just a single divine rune, such as a divine rune that outlines one's character. When it can materialize, the Zhou family will take it out and cultivate it artificially. Xia Huyu frowned slightly and transmitted his voice. Cultivating divine runes is a very important research, but it's nothing, right? Zhou Mingren transmitted his voice, no, it's very important. Extremely important. Do you know who proposed this research and who has been doing it? Zhou Polong. No, it's Zhou Polong's father, that little Zhou Wan. Zhou Mingren said telepathically, but with his death, everything started from the beginning. When he died, he took away those important research materials and died in the heavens with him. Later, Zhou Polong found some information left behind, and then he began to continue his father's research. Xia Huyo still couldn't figure it out. What did this have to do with anything? Zhou Mingren shook his head. Your IQ is not as good as your second grandfather's, nor is it as good as your father's. Let me tell you again, Zheng Yuming, that disciple of mine obtained a mountain and sea divine prose from the Zhou family. A artificially cultivated mountain and sea divine prose. How many years has it been? Zhou Polong started from scratch and spent less than 50 years to cultivate the mountain and sea divine prose. I even suspect that he cultivated the sun and moon divine prose. What about his father? The divine prose of the human race cannot advance to the invincible realm, but the divine prose of the 10,000 races can. Zhou Mingren quickly said, so, Zhou Polong's father may have cultivated the true invincible divine prose in the past. Of course, the divine prose of the gods and demons can do anything that is not human. Xia Huyo looked at him with a frown. Zhou Mingren said helplessly, you really don't have enough intelligence. Invincible had fallen, and strange phenomena appeared. And could all of this really not be faked? What would happen if you self-destructed an invincible divine text? Even more ruthless, self-destructing a 3-generation body, an invincible 3-generation body. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2199. 2199 Chapter 481, The Descent of the Main Body 5. Xia Huyo's expression changed slightly. Zhou Mingren continued, of course, I'm only guessing. Because there's no evidence to prove that he cultivated the invincible divine prose. That thing is too terrifying. I think it's very difficult. Zhou Polong has been trying all these years. I think he might have guessed something. Is his father really dead? Xia Huyo's heart trembled slightly, and he quickly said, that fellow has already appeared. If Manor Head Wan can take care of him, it doesn't matter if he's dead or not. No. Zhou Mingren shook his head. He transmitted his voice, you still don't understand. Even if he self-detonated the invincible divine prose and created an illusion, he still wouldn't have had the chance and time to attack Yi Batian. So, the person who attacked Yi Batian might not be the same person as him. The person who killed Yi Batian might be this person right now, but this person might not be dead. Xia Huyo frowned, 2 traitors. You mean, he pretended to be dead, but he wasn't the one who killed the 5th generation. He's still in the dark. Is this your speculation? Zhou Mingren nodded and continued to transmit his voice, yes, he's pretending to be dead. Why? There's no need for that. What's the benefit of him pretending to be dead? Xia Huyo frowned. Zhou Mingren shook his head and said, I don't know anymore. It's not easy to guess. Everything is just my own guess. Also, if he plays dead, he'll need the unrivaled cooperation of all the races. Of course, it's possible that he's really dead. Or if the disguise is too real, the three incarnations, together with the unrivaled divine prose, will all be destroyed. The other party might think that he's really dead. He might not be a traitor, but if this person isn't dead, he might be hiding somewhere and planning something. Why didn't you say it before? Zhou Mingren smiled and said, it's just a guess. It might not be true. If I say it out loud, it won't do us any good to misjudge everyone. I'm just saying that I'm on the verge of death. I'm just saying some of my guesses. As he said this, his aura gradually weakened. His physical body began to collapse and his sea of will appeared. His voice sounded again. I don't know if the other members of the Zhou family have thought about this. If they have, then the Zhou family. I hope that the Zhou family won't do such a thing. When those people come, they will shatter my sea of will and let me die a quick death. Zhou Mingren's voice disappeared, leaving behind only a broken ball. That was the sea of consciousness. Xia Huyo frowned. After thinking for a moment, he transmitted all the information out. Regardless of whether it was true or not, he had to give a reminder first. Little Zhou Wang might not be dead. Of course, even if he might not be dead, it did not mean that he was a traitor. It was just that he did not know what this person wanted to do. If he really faked his death, then the target would be huge. At the same time, the 10,000 heavenly saints slashed out, causing the faceless man's body to crack and he spat out blood. The 10,000 heavenly saints said coldly, if the real body doesn't come, you're dead. With a PFFT sound, the sword pierced through his chest. He turned around and slashed, causing Demon King Lad to continuously retreat. The faceless man's aura fluctuated. His voice was loud and filled with anger as he said, 10,000 heavenly saints, do you really think you can kill me? Can't I? 10,000 heavenly saints said calmly, it's just a third-generation body of yours. Do you really think I can't kill you? Pooh! Another sword, a sword formed from the combination of 24 divine runes. With the Heart Cultivation Pavilion as the weapon and the fusion of divine runes and battle techniques, 10,000 heavenly saints was shockingly powerful. After a few sword strikes, his third-generation body continued to crumble. As for Demon King Lad, at this moment, he had the intention of being a bystander. No, it could be said that he wanted to run away. Demon King Lad peeked at the ruins from the corner of his eyes. At this moment, he only wanted to take away the two carrying objects. If he couldn't get the tombstone, then forget it. After he took it, he could just quickly leave. 10,000 heavenly saints was mainly dealing with that guy. If he really went all out to deal with him, he wouldn't be able to take it. The faceless man was a little furious. 10,000 heavenly saints had me. This fellow was ridiculously powerful. Damn it! You forced me. The faceless one roared in anger. The river of time was revealed. At this moment, he was very weak, but the 10,000 heavenly saints did not make a move. Instead, he waited silently and said indifferently, I'm waiting for your true body to become one. Do you think I'm joking? You're courting death. The faceless one was incomparably furious. In the next moment, the river of time shuttled through the heavens. The 10,000 heavenly saints only prevented him from escaping and did not stop him from bringing his true body over. This fellow had been killed to the point of anger. If his 3 incarnations were killed, his identity would also be exposed. Rather than that, it would be better for his true body to descend and fight. At the same time, in the battlefield of the heavens, the great Zhou King's expression changed slightly as he looked not far away. A few unrivaled experts were scattered to protect him as they faced off against the unrivaled experts of the 10,000 races. At this moment, a river of time appeared beside an unrivaled expert of the human race. It pierced through the heaven and earth. The great Zhou King looked over with a calm expression and asked, why? That person left him and walked into the river of time, he said angrily, no reason. I've said it before. It's just a personal grudge. Why are you all forcing me? I just want Yi Badian to die. If Lu Wenyan had broken his divine script earlier, and if the great Xia king hadn't brought his divine script back, everything would have been over. The great Zhou king sighed softly. The invincible races outside blocked the path of the invincible humans, not giving them a chance to kill this person. Someone laughed, I didn't expect it to be you, Fan Hai. The great Zhou king remained calm, is your personal grudge with Yi Badian very big? Why didn't I know about it? Fan Hai king stepped into the river of time and said coldly, of course you didn't know. You're in charge of the search realm, and you don't do anything. You only know how to open the restriction of the human realm, and you don't care about anything else. Yi Badian humiliated me a few times, did you care about it? The great Zhou king said indifferently, this is also not the reason for you to kill him when he attains the Tao. No, it's enough. Blazing Sea King walked to the other end of the river of time, he said coldly, I've said it long ago. It's just a personal grudge. You guys have to force me again and again. Yi Badian is too overbearing and arrogant. If a person like him really becomes a hero of the human race and activates the restriction of the human race, then we can't live anymore. He must die. It's not just me. Many people want him dead. It's just that I did it. The great Zhou king sighed. You were used as a chess piece and instigated by others, right? What a joke. The voice of the burning sea king could be heard, no one can instigate me. Those who humiliated me are all dead. Great Zhou king, it's not just Yi Badian. Ha ha ha, your brother's whereabouts were also betrayed by me. At this point, there's nothing I don't dare to say. Great Zhou king sighed again and muttered, idiot. Your younger brother also humiliated me. All of you deserve to die. Burning seas, raging flames, your name is inauspicious. Great Zhou king sighed and shook his head. He did not pursue them because he still needed someone to protect his Tao. There were still many unrivaled experts blocking them from the outside world. They were too hot-tempered, and would burn up at the slightest touch. They didn't even know that they were about to die. The great Zhou king didn't look at him anymore. He looked back at Zhou Polong, who was also looking back at him. He nodded slightly, and didn't say anything else. At this moment, in the human realm, Nan Yuan. The aura of the faceless man instantly skyrocketed. Two figures walked out from the river of time, merging into one. The faceless man was no longer faceless, and his appearance was revealed. The surroundings were quiet for a moment. Zhang Qi glanced at the surroundings and sighed. He closed his eyes and did not say anything. The others around him instantly left him. The myriad heaven sage also sighed softly, burning sea king, it's really you. I know that you have a fiery temper, but I never thought that you really did it. Burning Sea King said coldly, myriad heaven sage, things have already come to this. There's nothing more to say. You, who are from the divine literature department, bullied me and humiliated me. Do you really think that eternity can humiliate me as it pleases? 10,000 heavenly saints sighed, he muttered, in the past, I was also present. Senior brother Ba Tian was very overbearing, but his original intention wasn't to humiliate you. I originally thought that you would be able to advance to eternity and know senior brother Ba Tian's original intention, but I didn't expect that you would actually kill him. Blazing Sea King said angrily, original intention. He fought with me in front of all of you and injured my physical body, saying that I wasn't skilled enough. I originally thought that we were just sparring, but I never thought that he would humiliate me everywhere afterwards, saying that my divine text is weak and my body is weak. We were just sparring, but he spread it everywhere and secretly asked me to fight again. He wanted to completely crush me, and he even deliberately shattered my divine text. Yi Badian is too overbearing and arrogant. If he doesn't die, who will? Myriad Heavenly Saint frowned slightly. You even fought in secret? Burning Sea King was extremely furious. Wan Tianxing, do you guys really think I'm a saint? Insulting me like this, I'll kill Yi Batian, and I'll kill you today. Boom! The sea of fire began to boil, and Burning Sea King said furiously, I'll show you what Burning Sea's fury is. Yi Batian is going to die, and so are you guys. The great battle broke out instantly. An invincible person who had become one with his original body descended into the human realm. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2200 2200 Chapter 482, Burning Sea Falling 1. The traitor was indeed the Burning Sea King. This was something even his son, Zhang Qi, had not expected. The Burning Sea King had a reckless personality and a bad temper. Not long after the opening of the prefecture, there were 11 cultivators in the human realm. 2 of them had died, leaving 9. The Forbidden Heaven King, the Heaven Cast King, the Silkworm Exterminating King, and the Burning Sea King, were all among them. Among them, there were 4 in the small realm, 2 in the human realm, and 3 in the heavens realm. As for Sea Burning King, he was not considered weak. He had attained Tao in the human realm. He was not the weakest group. Sea Burning King had a fiery temper, but in many people's eyes, it was only because he cultivated divine inscriptions that he was like this. He mainly cultivated fire divine inscriptions, and his temper had always been like this. Even after what happened to his son, Zhang Qi, everyone felt that. His son was his son, and Sea Burning King was Sea Burning King. The Burning Sea King had meritorious service. Before he attained Tao, he had fought with all the invincible experts in the heavens, conquering all directions. The Burning Sea King was a traitor. And he had killed Yi Batian. This point really surprised many people, and under the surprise, it was somewhat reasonable. If it was really for personal grudges, then the possibility of it being the Burning Sea King was greater. Because he had a fiery temper. But no matter how fiery he was, he had already reached the point of killing people. How did Yi Batian humiliate him back then? Burning Sea King didn't say it in detail, but if one were to examine it in detail, it probably wasn't that simple. It wasn't just a simple spar, forcing an invincible to kill him. Such humiliation was probably hard to imagine. Su Yu and the others weren't involved. Even if Yi Batian died, they wouldn't be able to verify anything. In the ruins, Su Yu, who was still fighting, only knew that the traitor had arrived. He was not familiar with Invincible, so who cared? As long as he came, it was fine. As for the reason why the Burning Sea King had come, it had nothing to do with him. As long as he found out. Through the ruins, he looked over. He could not see anything from the battle between the 3 invincible levels, nor could he see if there was anything on their arms. There was nothing on their bodies in the future. Su Yu couldn't see anything, but Lu Wenyan was extremely angry. Then just kill me. Why did you kill the Lu families young and old? King Fen Hai, back then, my master brought me to visit you, and I even respected you. Is this how you treat my Lu family? He was very angry and very sad. If you want to kill me, then come and kill me. Why do you want to kill my Lu families young and old? Why don't you even let go of the baby? Is this still invincible? You can't harm your family. You're invincible, yet you want to kill even these people. In the air, the Burning Sea King said coldly, killing them was not my original intention. I only asked people to create pressure and force you to save them. In the end, your Lu family tried their best to resist, which resulted in a bloody case. He didn't intend to exterminate the Lu family, so what was the use of killing the Lu family? He just wanted to use the crisis of the Lu family to get Lu Wenyan to return to the Lu family. However, his subordinates misunderstood some of the meaning. Well, he did not care too much. Back then, when the Lu family was destroyed, he was also a little surprised. His subordinates created pressure on the Lu family. It just so happened that tens of thousands of families came to attack, causing the Lu family to suffer heavy casualties. This led to the complete annihilation of the Lu family later on. Lu Wenyan was burning with anger. You killed my master and destroyed my entire family. Is just saying that you didn't mean it is enough? Lu Wenyan, who was roaring crazily, was so furious that his hair stood on end. His strength soared, and there were signs of his killing intent turning red. He killed his opponent, who was almost invincible, and he couldn't stop complaining. He had gone mad again. There were too many madmen in the human race. The Burning Sea King didn't say anything more, and he didn't have the strength to say anything more. The 10,000 heavenly saints had unleashed his full battle prowess at this moment. Killing intent blanketed the world as he sent Demon King Lad flying with a single strike. He said angrily, "Get lost, lad. If you continue to cause trouble, I'll kill you." Demon King Lad cursed inwardly. If not for my 3 lifetimes being destroyed, would I be afraid of you? Unfortunately, he only had one future body. Since Blazing Sea had been exposed, he could not be bothered to tangle with him anymore. He immediately fled and flew towards the ruins. As for the 10,000 heavenly saints, he could go and fight with Blazing Sea King. These two belonged to the human race, and one death was not enough. It would be even better if they all died together. Of course, if Heavenly King Fan Hai won, that would be the best outcome. Killing the 10,000 heavenly saints, eliminating the minister of the Huang department, and killing the Black Armor. This time, the human race would definitely suffer a great loss. In an instant, several invincible fighters would be crippled. Even if there were 3 or 5 Tao protectors in the heavenly battlefield, it would not be a big deal. As the 10,000 heavenly saints forcefully attacked Fan Hai, he shouted angrily, "Lan Tian, block Lad for me." Once Rad went to the ruins, there would still be a large number of humans and Su Yu. With Rad here, it would not be good for him to fight with Blazing Sea Heavenly King, but if he left, he had to be careful of him slaughtering the humans. Blue Sky, who was in the middle of the path synthesis, immediately smiled and said, "Good, good, good. I like it. 10,000 heavenly saints, this is what makes you so domineering. Then I will first fuse with the devil path." After saying that, he instantly appeared in front of Demon King Lad and said resentfully, "Lad, long time no see. Did you miss me?" Demon King Lad cursed secretly. He didn't have such a hobby. However, he had indeed met Blue Sky before. After hearing it, he thought that there was something going on between him and Blue Sky. He couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with Blue Sky. He was afraid of all saints, but he wasn't afraid of this guy. Boom! With a punch, a Blue Sky was smashed to death with a bang. "Lad, you're so cruel." Hundreds of Blue Skies appeared once again. In the River of Time, Blue Sky said bitterly, "You'd better die. If you die, leave your body to me. You and I will become one. You are me, and I am you. I will help you capture the past, okay?" Countless Blue Skies surrounded Demon King Lad, and a huge battle erupted. The battle continued. The corpses of the Blue Skies fell one by one. The Blue Skies were still smiling like flowers. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2201. 2201 Chapter 482, Ocean Burning Meteorite 2. So fierce. I like it. You and I should become one. The chilling voice came from hundreds of Blue Skies' mouths. Some of them were old and senile, which made people's scalps numb. Even the humans, Lord Xia and the others felt their skin crawl. Moreover, the power of Blue Sky was out of everyone's expectations. This fellow seemed to be getting stronger and stronger as he fought. Previously, when he fought with Quasi-Invincible, he was only slightly better than the original cult master. However, at this moment, he faintly possessed the strength of the original cult master and fought with Lad's future body back and forth. Although this fellow was evil, it had to be said that at the crucial moment, he was still of great help. Not only had he killed a Quasi-Invincible, he had also entangled an invincible future body. This also made Lord Xiaoho and the others heave a sigh of relief. Fortunately, without Lan Tian around, the pressure on everyone would be much greater. Perhaps many people would die. And on the battlefield, the most intense battle was on Myriad Heaven Sage's side. The void turned into darkness, and the two experts fought until the sun and moon sank. The entire endless void was trembling, and the world walls were constantly shattering. Myriad Heaven Sage's killing intent soared into the sky, and there were many divine texts. Each and every one of his characteristics erupted at the same time. On the other hand, Blazing Sea Heavenly King mainly had fire-type divine texts, and there were other divine texts as well. However, once the divine texts appeared, they were often blasted apart. Everyone's gaze was on them from all directions. There were actually only two people present who were truly invincible. The 10,000 Heavenly Saints and the Blazing Sea Heavenly King. For the others, if it wasn't for the three incarnations and the quasi-invincible ones, the only one who was truly invincible was the Blazing Sea Heavenly King. It was only at this moment that one could feel the power of invincibility. The 10,000 Heavenly Saints had killed the Blazing Sea with a single sword. However, as the river of time flowed, the Blazing Sea Heavenly King seemed to be immortal and indestructible. He was reborn once again and became even stronger. Boom! Flames burned the sky. The sound of flesh and blood being burned could be heard from 10,000 Heavenly Saints' body. He let out a muffled groan and continued fighting with him. 51 years ago, Heavenly King Blazing Sea had taken advantage of the fact that he was fighting with Yi Batian. He had joined forces with another invincible expert and ambushed them in secret. When he and Yi Batian were at their weakest, Heavenly King Blazing Sea and the Heavenly Abyss Divine King had joined forces to kill Yi Batian. Another person destroyed his three incarnations. At that time, he was almost exhausted, and so was Yi Batian. But today, it was not the case. Today, there was only one opponent. Blazing Sea. Kill, kill, kill. One Tianqing fished him out for the sake of killing him, for revenge, and for revenge. Killing an underworld river king was nothing, and it had nothing to do with the overall situation. Only by killing Blazing Sea would he be able to get what he wanted. Boom! The battle continued, and 10,000 Heavenly Saints' injuries worsened. As for Blazing Sea King, he was also getting weaker. Even though he was constantly being reborn, he still had to pay a price. After a few times, one of his arms was severed. This time, it took a while for his arm to be reborn. Blazing Sea King gritted his teeth. You seniors and juniors are indeed powerful. Back then, Yi Batian was like this, and so were you. 10,000 Heavenly Saints, you still don't have the qualifications to kill me. Blazing Sky. With a furious roar, the sky and earth changed color. Fierce flames burned the entire world. Myriad Heavenly Saint was wrapped within it and was burned by the flames. Blazing Sea King also stepped into the flames. He gritted his teeth and said, Myriad Heavenly Saint, kneel down. I'll spare you. Myriad Heavenly Saint did not say anything and continued to attack. Ha ha ha, are you unwilling as well? Your senior brother made me kneel back then. Who is he? I'm invincible. I'm eternal. He actually made me kneel down, bastard. One Tianqing frowned and said coldly, my senior brother is overbearing, but he is not a retard. As humans, they did not have a life and death grudge. Although Yi Batian was overbearing and had sparred with the Burning Sea King, a small victory, but to make him kneel, was his senior brother sick? One Tianqing was suspicious. The Burning Sea King was invincible. Obviously, he was talking about the sparring in private. It should have been his senior brother who won, but he definitely went overboard and forced the invincible to kneel and admit defeat. If that was really the case, his senior brother was killed. It wasn't an injustice. Blazing Sea King could be considered their senior, and he was also invincible among the humans. But would his senior brother do that? With some suspicion, Wan Tianxing looked at the sword in his hand and gritted his teeth. Invincible, and also invincible among the humans. He was invincible among the human realm cultivators. Killing him would be very difficult. But just because it was difficult didn't mean it was impossible. Wan Tianxing took a deep breath and growled. The long sword in his hand turned into a light sword. Slash! With a slash, the human realm was illuminated into daylight. The sea of fire split apart. With a boom, the sky was split apart. Blazing Sea King also roared as countless yuan qi gathered from all directions. With a punch, the civilized masters of this generation were invincible. In fact, their bodies were invincible. Under normal circumstances, their bodies were stronger than the divine runes. At that moment, he gave up on the sea of fire and gave it his all as he punched out. Boom! The long sword exploded, and at the same time, 7 or 8 divine runes exploded. Myriad Heaven Saint fell back and spat out blood. Blazing Sea King was also covered in blood. He gritted his teeth and said, "Splitting technique?" "No." Myriad Heaven Saint said coldly, "My divine runes battle technique was formed by me, and not inherited. I don't need to split it, because, the battle technique was only formed by me." Monster. Burning Sea King spat out blood. His injuries were not light, and the two of them instantly fought again. The battle continued without end. After a long while, a person separated with a bang. Myriad Heaven Sage's arm broke, but he crushed a divine prose. Burning Sea King spat out blood again, and his eyes were somewhat dazed. His main divine prose, fire, had been broken by Myriad Heaven Sage. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2202. 2202 Chapter 482, Fun Hai Yun 3. He was a Sun-Moon Pinnacle divine scribe after all. At this moment, his divine scribe was shattered, and the backlash wasn't light either. Cough cough, Myriad Sage. I can die 3 times, how many times can you die? Fun Hai King laughed. With a roar, he charged into the battle once more. This time, the battle lasted for a very long time. After a long time, an explosion resounded through the world. A flame seed floated down from the void, and Fun Hai King was resurrected once more. However, there were only 2 incarnations left. The 3 incarnations were scattered, and the future incarnations were killed by the Myriad Sage. The aura of the Myriad Sage also slipped down, and both of his arms were somewhat broken. His long hair was burned by the flames, and his face was covered in bloody scars. Kill. Both of them were very crazy. This was a life and death battle, not a spar. Burning Sea King did not care about life and death, and his battle strength was also extremely strong. Although he had lost to Yi Batian in the past, it did not mean that he was afraid of him in a life and death battle. At this moment, this person was also from a slaughtering background. Both parties were fighting with their lives on the line. They were incomparably crazy. The long sword of the Myriad Sage Heart Cultivation Pavilion shattered, and the divine runes exploded. In the blink of an eye, some of the 24 divine runes exploded. With a bang, the Myriad Sage self-detonated another 7 or 8 divine runes. The explosion tore apart the body of the Burning Sea King, and his body was completely destroyed. At this moment, Heavenly King Fun Hai took a step back, and a clear look appeared in his eyes. He was no longer as crazy as before. The past and the future had all perished. Only his present body was left. As for 10,000 heavenly saints, he was also panting non-stop. More than half of the divine runes had exploded, and at this moment, only 6 divine runes were left to surround him. The 2 great experts had fought until now, and both sides had suffered heavy losses. At the same time, in the sky above the battle between the two, in a light vortex, the stone sculpture Xing Hong was watching the show. He didn't have the intention to interfere. As the guardian, he couldn't make a move for no reason. He was in the human realm, so it was best for him not to make a move either. He didn't want to aggravate Su Yu's aura of death. Of course, if the city lord was in danger, he could make a move. This was in accordance with the rules, protecting our city lord. After watching for a while, Xing Hong was speechless. This group of young people were really good at fighting. That burning sea was just as so. He had seen the 10,000 heavenly saints last time, but it was across the long river of time. Now that he saw it with his own eyes, it was still a little different. He said with slight regret, "It's a pity. If I go through the orthodox 3 bodies to attain Tao, if I succeed, I'll be an expert of a region." 10,000 heavenly saints had 3 incarnations, and he had gone through 3 incarnations. However, more than 50 years ago, after his future body was destroyed, he did not capture his future body again. Instead, he chose to walk another path. The current 10,000 heavenly saints was in a special state, and even Xing Hong could not see through it. Xing Hong watched for a while. Very soon, he carefully watched for a while. He was about to die. He loved this kind of excitement. However, soon, Xing Hong was slightly stunned. He looked into the distance and raised his eyebrows. He did not say anything. At this moment, because Heavenly King Fan Hai had fallen in the past and in the future, his eyes became clearer. He looked at Myriad Heaven Saint and was not as irritable as before. Instead, he said calmly, "It's a pity that people like you and I have actually died in an internal conflict." Myriad Heaven Sage coughed up blood and smiled. "Killing you is more effective than killing 10 unrivaled beings." "That's true." Blazing Sea Heavenly King nodded slightly and smiled. "Killing me is indeed more useful than killing the unrivaled beings of the myriad races." Myriad Heaven Sage, "I'm only curious about one thing." "Speak." The 2 of them were accumulating their strength and preparing for the final attack. Blazing Sea Heavenly King smiled and said, "Yi Batian once said that, he was far from being unrivaled by civilized masters. Why did he choose to attain Tao not long after? Was it the physical body that attained Tao, or the divine text that attained Tao?" "His physical body." Myriad Heaven Sage said calmly, "He felt that there was a problem with his cultivation of divine runes. He wanted to try and see what exactly went wrong. Perhaps he could feel some imbalance when he attained the Tao with his physical body. In the end, before he could test it out, he was killed by all of you." Blazing Sea Heavenly King nodded and smiled. "I see. In that case, he hasn't reached the end of the divine runes either." He laughed and said, "Then this fellow doesn't have the right to look down on anyone. He's too arrogant. 10,000 heavenly saints, go down and accompany him. It's better for you to go." Boom! An earth-shattering boom lit up the world. With a single strike from the 2 of them, the invincible figures in the other large battlefields were all struck out. The place where the 2 of them fought had already completely turned into a black hole, and one could even see through the barrier of the human realm. One could see the endless void outside. Before this, the battlefields were all in a crack in the space between the barriers. A moment later, the light disappeared and turned into darkness. After a while, a sea of fire appeared. Flames filled the sky. Blood-red flames fell toward the ground, and an enormous illusory figure appeared in the sky above the human realm. In the sea of fire, the 10,000 heavenly saints, whose body was incomplete, had a dispirited aura. Only the last divine text was left. With a calm expression, he turned his head to look at the sea of fire. The human realm was shaken. This invincible cultivator of the human realm had been killed by him in the final strike. The enemy who had killed Yibatian had been killed by him. As for himself, he had also suffered grievous injuries. He did not care about all of this. Killing the other party was already his greatest wish. He had succeeded. He had been dormant for so many years, and he had succeeded. He looked at the people who were trying to escape from the periphery, then at Zhang Qi. With a smile, he had killed Fan Hai, and he had even taken action to clean up these fellows. He instantly appeared in front of Zhang Qi and said softly, "Go and accompany your father." Zhang Qi's expression was very calm. "Fan Hai is dead. You will definitely come to kill me." Wan Tiansheng was slightly startled. "You are calling your father by his name?"